This should be fun.
So what you do is you actually put the tortillas on the plate. That way, when you're eating the taco, everything falls out onto the tortilla, so it's like maybe an extra taco.
I never thought about that, and I'm a paper plate user because I'm not like, any sort of party, but I guess you could say we're a little bit conservative here. But I had just had some soft tacos with some delicious salsa and spicy cheese queso. Wait a minute. What are we doing? Oh, sorry. Hello, everybody who's welcome. My brain's gone. Redo. So, this is what we do. We're unscripted, unrestricted. We're just free-form couple of fans. We are the simple and impactful duo. So anybody that watches this on live or on demand, you know what this is. As we look towards the biggest day of the year for Impact Wrestling, as we see who puts their names towards immortality, claims the gold, calls their shot, and above all else is truly bound for glory. So welcome once again to their simple, impactful duo panel, as we discuss Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory, but this will also be a double feature because following this, the NoDQ Galaxy will be here to discuss Extreme Rules. Before we get into tonight's festivities, and of course, Bound for Jerry Slaughter brings his thoughts to the table, I do want to put this out here. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Treasure the day. Treasure your families. Be grateful for the ones you are with. Don't take life for granted. I want to send, on behalf of Jerry, myself, and anybody who just is a good-hearted person, my deepest prayers and condolences to the entire family of Sarah Lee, the earliest Tough Enough graduate who left this realm at the age of 30. Again, if you can provide help or support, please do in their time of need. There is a GoFundMe, and you can follow accounts across all wrestling platforms to contribute to this cause as well. At the end of the day, folks, let's try and be better as a whole society. Thank you. Jerry, again, it's always great to see you, my friend. Are you ready for Bound for Glory tonight?
This podcast almost didn't happen.
I know, right?
I had to finagle my way out of a 12-hour shift into a 10-hour shift to make sure I got to do this because I really want to talk wrestling with you, Noah. I missed it. So I'm really excited to talk about pretty much Impact's version of WrestleMania at this point. It's going to be fantastic. It's a huge card. It's a fantastic card, and I can't wait to get into it.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. And shout out to those that have already joined. And if you haven't already, let your opinions be known because they matter too. You too can join the Impact Predictions League. The link to the form is in the description down below, as I am broke and have no longer the perks towards StreamYard's show and shares on screen. But I do have the leaderboard right here to the side of me. Thank you, Dual Display and Universal Dock. As right now, Kyle leads the league at 64, and I'm tied with him, followed by Scott Skater, Joshi, Sidney G, Ashley, Christopher Rotz, Christopher,
the top 10.
Train Atkinson, basically, and Benji. That makes up the top 10. Jerry, you're just outside of it, actually, with 48 points. You're doing very well. And currently, there is no
well at Impact.
Currently, there is no undisputed Impact champion, as nobody solely won at Victory Road. So again, you got till 7:30 p.m. tonight Eastern Standard Time, folks, to get those predictions in for Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory. So with that being said, I want to give a plug quick to those that have put in so far. Shane Wells, Chumbawamba. By the way, good song. Oh, no way. I forgot Tub Pumping. Sean Bully, as the keeper. Yeah, I get it not down. My brother from church, Paul Mead, King Kieta, and so many others. Of course, the Renegade JJ. Follow him at Cassidy 18 Studios. Stay tuned for the next one, Might Night, tomorrow night, across that platform, this platform, and the entire multiverse of media supported by the Championship Network. All right, Jerry. So first off, let's go ahead and give a highlight. As we know, Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory is ushering in a newest member to the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. And boy, what a member they picked this time. Raven. We all know how creative and how much of an impact this guy has had not only on the industry, but in this company. Recently, this past Thursday, they literally played a clip where he stormed into the building and took the title from Jeff Jarrett. We also know he is the brainchild behind Clockwork Funhouse of Orange match. That Sammy Callahan brought back earlier this year. He is also an ECW original. He even had some former time in the WWE to a degree. So what are some of your biggest takeaways to Raven now being inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame?
I think it's pretty incredible. He had a great run as NWA champion before it became like NWA, TNA, and Impact. That was all fantastic. He's very innovative. He's always done incredibly great promo work. He was doing the whole, cinematic feel before anybody else really was in Impact. And that's something that actually built up to that as well. Serotonin. Very few people talk about Serotonin. That was a really great little faction he had there with like Johnny Devine, Frankie Kazarian, and I believe it was Shannon Moore. I want to say Shannon Moore before he left. But
I barely remember Shannon Moore because almost that guy's like a blip nowadays. Good grief.
Oh yeah, he just kind of dropped off the map with the whole Prince of Punk thing, and that was just horrible.
Right.
But Raven has always been a favorite of mine. I even liked his work in WWE, even though he didn't really do nearly as much cool stuff as he did in ECW. But even before then, he was a commentator. Scotty Flamingo, Johnny Polo, great manager skills, great mic skills. The guy has been everywhere and done everything. I have nothing but respect for him, and this is totally well-deserved.
Yep, and he will take his rightful place tonight in the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, along the likes of Earl Hebner, Gail Kim, Sting, Kurt Angle, Ken Shamrock, Awesome Kong, and so many others.
I think without him, we wouldn't have the Wyatt family, but before that was Raven's Flock in WCW.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because you think about Ryan Rotunda and all of his influences with his creative mind. I don't think people really put that connection there with him and Raven. I mean, Paul the Buzzard, I thought that literally quote for Raven. I thought that was literally like Bray Wyatt's reincarnation.
It is definitely a callback. Like you can tell Bray Wyatt's actually a mixture of Waylon Mercy, who's like a short-lived character, and Raven. He's got that whole Charles Manson mentality, and that's pretty much what Raven was actually doing as well. So I'm all for Raven getting into this Hall of Fame. I think he's going to make a great speech. It's going to be fantastic.
Yep. And again, rightfully deserved. Quite an influencer on the industry. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that being said, folks, we'd love to get your thoughts also on this new Hall of Famer. And again, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Shout out to Nathan Banks. Thank you for always tuning in. Let's go ahead and get into the actual matches. And we actually do have a bit of a pre-show that gives us a free teaser. And we're already getting one surprise. Who's it going to be? And I'm not trying to quote the Men at Work song, but I am talking about the most professional, quote unquote, wrestler and the current digital media champion, as Brian Myers has issued an open challenge for his title after successfully defending against 300 Gucher in a ridiculous ladder match on Impact Wrestling a couple weeks ago. Now, based on who we walked through in the backstage area this past Thursday, I don't think it's going to be I Am Violence. Okay, seriously, get better security, Skyway Studios. I don't think it's going to be Delirious because I don't think necessarily he speaks proper English. And I'm pretty sure that the person he was talking to with the phone, she had nothing to do with who he was trying to connect her to. And with most of our people that I thought was going to face him now in the Call Your Shot, which we'll talk about in a moment, Gauntlet, this is a who's who. I really don't know. But at this point, Brian Myers has pretty much become the symbol of this title. I'm just going to say he retains. So what's your thoughts towards this open challenge? Who you think can accept it? Again, Impact Wrestling, open door policy. Anyone can come in. Anyone can show up. Anyone is welcome. But who could be verified enough to face this guy for this title?
Bobby Fish.
You think
why not?
Double duty?
Huh?
You see him?
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I got a match that night. Either way, Brian Myers, I think Brian Myers is going to retain. I just don't know who the hell he's going to face. And it's bound for glory, so it's one of those situations where they'll want that initial shock, especially on pre-show, to get people's attention. Right. So it wouldn't shock me if it's somebody like returning or somebody's like, especially if it's a Impact original or a TNA original. That'd be really fun to see as well. So, but not really sure who it's going to be, and that's exciting. It really is.
Do you think though we're going to get a new champion though, or is the shot just going to be?
No, I think he'll still win the match, but it'll be a fun little surprise for him, and have to pull out all the stops to make it the win actually happen.
Right.
Crazy heel heat at the beginning of a show is actually pretty good. It sets the tone of dread for any face champion you may have. So Brian Myers winning this match against a TNA or Impact original at a Bound for Glory event, that'll actually set the tone very, very well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Paul said probably the Demon. I think the Demon's still in Sin City. They're in New York, Paul. But I mean, Brooklyn.
It's Bray
Wyatt. He's going to show up. He's the White Rabbit. But I digress. People have said here, Luigi Primo, the pizza guy, Vincent, Jonah, Matt Cardona, Casey Navarro, Christopher Daniels, and even Uya Yamera. So there's a bunch of wild picks across the entire wrestling scene. I like that to a degree. And Paul did also say that, of course, the man with the intel, George Iceman did tease the Demon return tonight. Well, he might return somewhere else that we'll talk about here pretty soon, Paul, but we'll see. According to 26 people that have so far filled it out, majority do believe regardless Brian Myers will retain. 69% to be exact. All right. Well, again, this will be our fun, and this is the only match known for the pre-show to welcome us in. Let's go ahead and get right into the card, and I feel like if you're going to call your shot, you need to plan pretty early, so let's go ahead and open up with this shindig as 20 men combination women field battle it out in a gauntlet to claim the ultimate opportunity for any prize in Impact Wrestling anytime they wish. It's that tradition, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, where the winner gets to call their shot anytime in Impact Wrestling, any place, anytime for any championship. And we already got 15 people known, including, yes, Killer Kelly, Eric Young, Gunsher, as I mentioned, Rich Swann, PCO, Steve Macklin, Moose, Sammy Callahan, Sammy for Ref Machine more frequently, please. Thank you. Keith Slater, Bobby Fish, the Boricua Badass Tasha Steeles, and her heavy, Savannah Evans, the quintessential diva Michelle Shaw, great match against Mia Yim. Oh, Lord. Freaking Johnny Swinger. How's this guy? Never mind. And this is the one that I'm believing in the most, but per my predictions, I'm allowing everybody to put in 2 picks, a primary and a secondary, considering there are, according to the graphic, 2 unknown women, 3 unknown men. Maybe the Demon's one of them. We'll see. But, of course, the last one that's now known is Joe Hendry, looking to motivate Impact Wrestling more than it already is. Jerry, let your brain fly and the creativity go. Who are your 2 picks, and who do you expect to show up?
That's another tough call because, like, you have 5 unknowns at this point, and like I said, like with these events, they tend to bring back like a little bit of nostalgia each time.
The Shark Boy.
So yeah. Oh, don't even joke about that. Remember, I had Shark Boy win last time, and he totally
I know. It's
won that Battle Royal.
Damn it!
You know what? That's my male pick. That's my one pick. Shark Boy is going to be one of my picks.
All right. Well, you get 2. Keep going and keep trying to guess who else.
My other pick was the first one you mentioned up right off the bat, Killer Kelly. She's already on a hot streak there. It only makes sense that she gets a chance at the championship. I think they're really good. Like, just strap the rocket to her and let her fly. I'm happy for that, and I'm hoping to actually make the right call and put it on her.
Well, I literally called it on Thursday when I said, wouldn't it be fun if she could play with more than one person? Talk about playing with an entire roster and unknowns. Yes, Killer Kelly is my primary, and I stand by that. And I personally hope she puts Tasha to sleep for the long bit because I just like the clutch. But I'm also motivated because you say his name, and he did appear. Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is now part of Impact Wrestling. I have no idea what to expect from this guy. I thought he was going to challenge Brian Myers for the Digital Media Championship.
By all accounts, I should put my money on Joe Hendry, but now I'm just leaning towards Shark Boy.
Well, you got Shark Boy and Killer Kelly in those spots, I'm guessing. Or Shark Boy, your secondary.
Shuffle it to Killer Kelly, Shark Boy. I want my primary to be Killer Kelly.
I'm about to say, so we're both on the killer side of things. We're with Killer Kelly. And I believe in Joe Hendry. So Joe Hendry is going to be my secondary. But I still got to wonder, who else could show up? According to the graphic, it's going to be 2 women. Honestly, it might just be internal. I don't think it's going to be a Swingerella after what happened on Thursday. Poor Swingerellas. Maybe Alicia, one of the hardest working and most positive influences.
You know, it'd be really fun, especially if Joe Hendry's in this match and doing a whole believe in Joe Hendry thing. Bo Dallas just shows up with his Bo Leaf gimmick.
Oh, gosh. And they signed him.
Gets thrown out like 10 seconds into his appearance, but then runs around the ring just celebrating.
And then he unites with Keith, social outcast reunion. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I really loved his Bo Leaf gimmick in NXT. I thought that was perfect. And when they first brought it into WWE, I'm like, this is going to be great. It's going to be like a new Positively Page, but it's going to be handled a lot better. No.
Yeah, it did. They dropped the ball.
They completely crapped the bed on that one. I
hated
that.
Yeah, me too. I could see another man of violence or woman of violence getting involved in this thing. I wonder if Eric Young's going to use that to his advantage here. I noticed Dina isn't on here, so maybe Dina will be one of the mysteries. I definitely could see Alicia being involved here. As far as the Knockouts division, boy, that's pretty deep, though. Because
at this point, I hate to say it, but Violent by Design is kind of dead in the water.
It is.
Especially since they're down to just 2 members right now as well.
Yeah,
So
Joe Corey, get well soon. Please support that cause too, folks.
That's sad, but at the same time, if Diener is in the match, I could actually see him eliminating Eric Young. And then
Ethan Page, boy, you crazy.
All ego.
Well, he is all ego. He also is from Canada, eh? And he is formerly Impact Wrestling member. I guess
I don't know. I think on the way out with the whole karate guy thing, he's not going to come back there.
About to say they
completely killed that character for him, and I don't see him ever returning.
Yeah, when you really hurt the identity of something that someone holds near and dear, even if it's not like identity or property, yeah, you kind of.
It can be something he can laugh at. Like it could be something he can laugh at for ages upon ages, but if it's handled improperly, it's gonna make him mad, and that's what ended up happening with that. So I don't blame him for not wanting to return.
I agree. I also think about maybe somebody else from New Japan Strong or New Japan Pro Wrestling showing up. They are in New York. As we know, Rumble 44th Street is also this month too. The pay-per-view and Impact and MPW are extremely strong with each other, it seems, working together. So I want to count that out. Maybe
we can't rule out Kenta.
Yeah, Rock Hard, Juice Robinson, Ace Austin. I'm surprised Ace Austin is on this graphic. Chris Bay! Chris Bay is another one that could be involved in this thing. I might just literally name the 3.
Just throw the Bullet Club in there.
Hey, why not? They are for life, and they're all over the world. So, I mean, but yeah, I will be surprised to see somebody not nostalgic and first time show up in this call your shot gauntlet. But I'm definitely expecting.
I'm going to say this though too. The fact that Chris Bay and Austin, like Ace Austin, aren't getting a tag team title shot at this point is frightening to me. They have been on a bit of a roll, and they are just a very, very entertaining team. So, I hope they do get their due here soon.
Well, based on what we figure about with the tag title match, we literally could be setting up for that domino effect because we all know the ongoing war with Bullet Club and Honor No More. It's just been set to the side for now. Doesn't mean it can't be reignited. But either way, our money right now is primarily on Killer Kelly, folks, and I believe it's Joe Hendry. Damn it. But I digress. People all over the board primarily have picked the likes of Steve Macklin. Ooh, I didn't even think about that, honestly. Bobby Fish. I see Moose. I see more Macklin.
You just win that barbed wire massacre.
Yeah. And Macklin, again, I feel is a guy that can be a future Impact World Champion. I mean, Moose called a shot last year, and Macklin just beat Moose, even if Sammy was the one to set it up as such. But yeah, Macklin has been on an unbelievable roll. And he has yet to challenge for the freaking Impact World title since being part of Impact Wrestling.
And that's got me thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm sorry, Shark Boy, but I may actually change to Steve Macklin as my second pick.
I may believe in Joe Hendry, but I don't see him getting this sort of opportunity this quick out of the gate. Macklin has been around longer.
I like yours. That could have been a bargaining chip for his contract negotiation. Is the fact that he automatically would get a title shot, which makes all the sense in the world. So. It'll be either Joe Hendry or Steve Macklin.
All right, fine. Primary, final. I know we gotta move on. Final answer. My primary is still Killer Kelly because Killer's for life. Secondary, though, he deserves it. I want to see it happen. Steve Macklin. There. I'm motivated by Joe Hendry, but I don't believe he's going to call his shot day one yet. What are the odds now beginning those up tonight?
And at this point, an audible could be called and put the belt on him sometime at the end of the night, even.
Exactly.
Because, you gotta think, he initially was, part of the Forgotten Sons with Wesley Blake. Wesley Blake just lost his wife.
Yeah.
So, what kind of tribute would that be to them to actually put the belt on him? So,
or at least give him the shot,
the opportunity to do so, yeah,
at his own will. Yeah, and again, domino effect. I mean, I remember when Daphne passed away, another Impact great. I mean, the bunny, Allie back in AEW All Out Casino Battle Royale, she gave a tribute to her, and she went pretty much most of the field's distance. So I definitely see a lot more of a rub for Macklin out of tonight considering what he's been doing in Impact, but also what's recently happened in real life.
He earned a whole bunch more respect for people after that Bar Massacre. So it only
Without
makes
a doubt.
sense
Are you kidding me?
So it only makes sense.
We called it.
Yeah,
we called it.
It only makes sense that he'd actually get the rocket strapped to him as well. As much as he might hate to use this statement, they need to build more of a main event roster or main event stars, and Macklin is ready for it.
Yes, absolutely. There's no denying that. All right. And looks like Dwayne is with us as well. He predicted Macklin to win it all. Remember, you do have also a plan B. Don't forget to get your secondary in or update it. And again, folks, get those predictions in. Link is in the description down below. Just click the one next to Impact. You got the 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to make it official. And then I close it. All right, well, let's go ahead and keep going from there. I mean, we threw a lot of names out there, a lot of great names, a lot of great vets. And somebody even said Christopher Daniels, of course, a former Impact wrestler himself. He also had a brief return for a moment. And honestly, I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah, match with those two other guys. Who were they?
I do remember one of them in particular because he's a 4-time X Division champion, and I am so damn happy to see him back challenging for this against, I'm just going to say it right now, this guy personifies fighting champion. But again, he wanted to open Pandora's box. You got it. I hope you're ready for this because you guessed it. He's coming. X Division Championship match. Speedball Mike Bailey for his 10th attempted successful defense. Challenges Frankie Kazarian this time and defends his gold. Frankie Kazarian, again, a former 4-time X Division champion. And what's funny is during his 4 reigns combined, he had 9 successful defenses, while Speedball has accomplished 9 successful defenses in 1 reign. Unbelievable. He has been X Division champion now for 110 days in this single reign, while Frank Kazarian has been champion for a combined 239 across 4 reigns. I love that they did the X Factors, though. That is such a cool callback. There's definitely a bit of weight discrepancy, so obviously Frank Kazarian will be the heavy hitter. But what Speedball has on his side literally is speed. And those agile kicks could be enough to drop Frank Kazarian to his knees. If Kazarian, though, traps him in that chicken wing, though, that could be it. Game over. We really haven't seen nobody challenge Speedball in the technical game of keeping him down on the mat, let alone go after his legs. Speedball nearly has blown his own knees down. That's because somebody missed him on the apron. But this is really hard for me because, again, Speedball Mike Bailey has been a phenomenal, pun intended, X Division champion. One of the best I've seen in a long time in this company. And that goes alongside the likes of AJ Styles, Josh Alexander, Chris Bay, hello. And again, he's not even involved in this. How's that for a crime? Ace Austin, the list goes on and on. He's already had such defenses, most recently against Delirious, Alan Angels, Chris Bay as well. He also says to defended against Diener, just to name a freaking few. And of course, the key match for my reign so far of his, Trey Miguel, where Mike Bailey had to pull out the Flamingo driver. That was the first time he had to do something else besides Ultimate Weapon. Does Speedball have a different trick or weapon up his sleeve this time? Or will Kazarian open the flux capacitor and instead of chicken winging him, surprise us all? Will there be a bad influence involved in this match too? I'm extremely intrigued by this, Jerry. What are your thoughts regarding this? And honestly, this could be the match that steals the show.
I think Speedball Mike Bailey's going to surprise everybody by keeping up with Frankie Kazarian on the mat. And that's going to completely throw Kazarian off his game. Kazarian, as great of a wrestler as he is, he's a hothead and a half. If he gets frustrated and Mike Bailey sees it for like a split second, that's all he needs. And then 3 seconds after that. So I think Speedball Mike Bailey is actually going to walk away with this match. But I think he's also going to get the endorsement or the good rub from Frankie Kazarian, possibly even Christopher Daniels showing up and them both endorsing him afterwards, which would be he doesn't need much of a push. He doesn't need much fanfare. But I think that with Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian saying this guy's the future, he's what's up, he's what's going to happen. That's all solidification you need.
Well, you did bring up Christopher Daniels, and it looks like Mike Bailey's on his way to history. If he gets through 13 successful defenses, he will surpass Christopher Daniels' all-time great record.
I'm about to say, it only makes sense then.
Well, yeah, it also makes sense that maybe he faces Christopher Daniels before he hits that milestone, and maybe he is the next one that at least makes his presence known. You bring up a valid point. I bring up Bad Influence because, of course, we know Frank Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, they were formerly a tag team together called Bad Influence and Impact Wrestling, drinking Appletinis and feuding with AJ Styles, who was having And a fair.
That was SCU before SCU.
Exactly. Let's see what Draina said. Because Kazarian needs a resurgence, so I pick him. Resurgence is one of those things I don't necessarily think Kazarian needs, because Kazarian, he's always going. He talks about how he still can keep up with the best of them. He's on another level that he doesn't even fully understand, but he knows that he can bring it. He can hang with them. He went with Kenny King for 13 daggum minutes. That's another one, by the way, Speedball beat. Just past Thursday on Impact Wrestling. Kazarian can go for the distance with anybody.
Kazarian's one of those ones that never reached that next level. And he very well should have. But he is pretty much like one of those, like, the gateways to the championship, or just he can make or break somebody's career just with a win over him or a loss to him. Right. That's where he's at in AEW and in Impact.
Middle ground.
But he knows his place. He knows how to entertain. He knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to work with everybody in the ring. He is a ring general. Yeah. So, and that's the kind of person you kind of need is in there with Speedball Mike Bailey. Because much fun as they're going to have like wrestling each other, Bailey's going to learn a lot in this match. Mm-hmm. And it's going to only improve his repertoire. It's only going to make him more conscious of how he moves and how he acts in the ring and how he plays to the crowd. This is going to be just a fun match just to watch, almost like just on a analysis level alone, not just as a fan, but just somebody that wants to see the actual fine art of pro wrestling and how it's evolving.
That's the words I was looking for. As again, the X Division defines themselves as no limits, anything possible. And truly, it constantly has evolved. I say the X Division is probably in the best state it's ever been in the company's history. Majority do believe that the champ is going to retain too. And Jerry, I am also with you. I do feel that Speedball is not only going to retain, I feel he is the guy that could surpass Christopher Daniels' record. Now, what happens beyond that? I put this in terms of what Momo Watanabe did with the Wonder of Stardom Championship, the white belt. She still has the most successful defenses. Saya Kamatani is going after that. She already beat the former rank holder. So, again, is Christopher Daniels the turning point? Why, that's not even a premium monthly Impact Plus special coming up this year, as far as I know. Is he the turning point, maybe, in Speedball Mike Bailey's X Division run, or is something else going to surprise us? Will somebody else rise that we don't expect to lead the X Division after Speedball? And obviously, after Speedball is done with this title, this guy's already World Championship material. With the work ethic alone, I remember a tweet I saw about the work ethic that both him and another person we'll talk about have competed in over 150 plus matches separately across practically 50 different promotions this year alone each. Mm-hmm. That's professional wrestling, damn it. That's work ethic. Either way, this is going to be...
It somehow has energy for Veda Scott.
Hey, he's one of the most prolific wrestlers in the world, married to one of the most brilliant minds in the wrestling business. Kudos to him. And all the best to both. That's all I got to say about that. All righty. This is going to be an incredible match. Let's go ahead and move on into some knockouts action, as the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships are on the line, as we will see if we get Vex tonight, as the current champions, Pavucci Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo, and the Hot Mess, Chelsea Green, defend against what are now being known as Death Dolls, La Vera Loca, Taya Valkyrie, and Jessica. And of course, we saw these two tag together for the first time this Thursday against the Swingerellas, poor Swingerella number one. And as we saw the Kishi driver, Jessica got the win for the team. But I think about this. Rosemary, does she believe that these two are ready? Have they done enough training? Rosemary, in my opinion, is the focal point of the entire trio's story. Now, whether or not she plays as the deciding factor in this match or the decider of their futures afterwards, that remains to be seen. Of course, we know that Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green literally just won these titles very recently off Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary because Jessica dropped the ball in their corner. Now Jessica is literally playing in battle here with Taya, and we'll see if these two can get it done. I don't think so. Personally, I believe that Vex are going to continue, and I do want to see more come out of the Knockouts Tag Team Championships just outside of Impact Wrestling. And they need to span out. That's my biggest criteria right now towards this tag title scenario for the Knockouts. Move them into the NWA Women's Tag Team Division, put them against Pretty Empowered or the likes of Kylie King and Genocide, sign me freaking up. There's definitely potential with the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, but I feel there's more potential with the champs currently than the champs that could be. So I'm going to say that Vexed wins. What's your thoughts towards this?
I've learned so far with the Impact Women's Tag Division is there's never such thing as too soon. Like Vex, they got together relatively quickly, and they won the titles on one of their first shots at it. So it's really tough to call, but at the same time, I think Rosemary is going to somehow cost the team the match, whether it be a distraction on the outside because of like her yelling at Jessica for some reason or whatever else. But like it's going to throw everybody off their game. And Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo, they know how to take advantage of a situation.
Exactly.
They're very, very good at this.
Exactly.
Like basically, they like watching people shoot themselves in their own foot because then they can just like pick up the scraps, and that's what's going to end up happening with this match.
Yeah, and Paul, no, absolutely not, no. Eric Young will call it Sean Childs, the knockouts 10 times with ODB. Bam. Do we really have to go back down that road?
Good nostalgia, but no.
Yeah, good nostalgia, but no. Nostalgia's better off in the past in some ways, and that's one of them. Majority of people
maybe if Violent by Design weren't still a thing right now, possibly. But
violence. I mean, we do know there is a female violent believer.
I didn't even think about that. One of the members of that Call Your Shot thing, even though he may not win, could be P.D. Williams. That'd be fun to see, like an old school Canadian destroyer.
Oh my gosh! If I hear the Canadian national anthem, Casey Flynn will never let me live it down. By the way, 88 people believe that Speedball's going to retain, while 69, what is with y'all? Believe that Vex are going to retain as well. Either way, I'm curious, though, what this means for Rosemary and Jessica's connection. Because, again, she misses that warrior. Is that ever going to come back? And how will it? I don't know. And as far as Taya goes, is Taya going to feud with Rosemary? And again, Paul just put a point. PD works for WWE. It's not happening. That's true. He is a producer.
That's right. I forgot he was even there. He's writing some great matches and putting them together.
He's just not on screen. That's all. He's just not on screen. He's just not wrestling. That's the whole.
But this is also a different WWE as well. If he's like, I got this one-off thing over at Impact I want to do. Is that cool? It's like Impact is still a thing.
Yeah, it is. Respect. But of course they don't know that.
Like WWE's feelings towards like Impact Wrestling is how my feelings were towards 205 Live for a longest time. Yeah. 205 Live did matter in the beginning, and then it fell off the grid. Yeah, missed opportunity. Go figure. Well, anyway, you talk about the WWE, you talk about Impact. He's on screen all the time. Yeah, and a friggin' pull apart. That doesn't really matter. And it's not like you see a Canadian flag at ringside when he's out there. Anyway, as we talk about WWE, Impact, knowing that each other exists, let's go ahead and talk about somebody that literally has been through both and try to remind them that they exist. As she literally is on her last rodeo. The HBIC looks to send her HOME. Mickie James goes one-on-one with Mia Yim, and these two go all the way back to Maryland Championship Wrestling, the original match I saw, by the way, that they put up on YouTube. Good stuff. As, of course, we most recently saw Mickie James so far. Her last rodeo has 3 successful branded victories. The most impactful was definitely the match against Giselle Shaw. Giselle, that was an amazing effort, by the way. And, of course, we saw Giselle also take it to Mia Yim. Again, putting the spotlight on her in a great match, but Mia Yim won via defeat. As Mickie James is on this crusade to retire out her own way, win the Knockouts Championship by going through each and every knockout in this division from the bottom up in no particular order. She respects the work that Mia Yim put in back at Victory Road, particularly in the Triple Threat Revolver. I gotta admit, I was pleasantly surprised with how far and how many eliminations she got too. That's a potential X Division candidate right there. But as far as this goes, I keep saying it. 2 deciding factors for me in Mickie James' path right now. And it comes down to the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, or the one that literally made her have this retrospective in the first place, Hot Mess Chelsea Green. I'm not even counting the fact that we got more knockouts now in play, including the likes of the undefeated, currently, Masha Slamovic, and of course, Killer Kelly. And of course, those will have to be also on the way for Mickie James too. But as far as this goes, to get there, Mickie James has to go over Mia Yim. And even though Mia Yim lost out on the Knockouts Championship back at Emergence, great match, I don't think Mia Yim is going to be the one to send Mickie James home. I got Mickie James winning. Your thoughts towards this last crusade and this match in general, Jerry? I don't see the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment happy with her. The whole it's like I love you, I'm sorry thing. That's not going to happen here.
No.
So yeah, Mia Yim isn't going to win the match. She'll put up a great effort, and it's going to be it'll be like probably a Macho Man Ricky Steamboat amount of like near falls. But at the same time, it's
with a headbutt at some point that would knock both of them out.
Definitely.
Jeez.
There's going to be that moment where almost like there's like 10 count on both of them because they both get knocked out with that. But at the same time, I don't see Mia Yim pulling this victory. Yes, she did lose like out on the whole like knockouts championship, but at the same time, this is something completely different. This is about like building up the legacy of Mickie James before she goes out the door.
Pretty much.
And I think Mia Yim is just going to be taking this as just that. She's going to take it as like a compliment and honor and whatnot, just be facing Mickie James in the ring, especially at the biggest show in Impact, that year. So, and she very well may not even be with the company much longer anyhow. So if that's the case, what a way to go out than like to be beaten by a legend and then like just pop back on to either the Indies or go back to WWE with her husband.
Well, that's a whole different.
Her husband's in AEW now, so
I say her husband's in AEW.
that'd still be a fun trip for her. Either way, Mia Yim's gonna be successful wherever she goes. She's constantly evolving too. She's constantly learning. She's constantly getting better. So, like, kudos to her. But at the same time, Mickie James is gonna win.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Mickie James. Again, multiple-time Knockouts champion, Divas champion. She participated in the Royal Rumble while wearing the Impact Knockouts championship. She has been an absolute trailblazer for the industry, for men and women, and just in general for professional wrestling. And again, folks, support women's wrestling. So I got nothing but the absolute respect for her. And I know that this is going to matter a ton to Mia Yim, considering really it's almost where Mia Yim kind of began with her. So as you say, what time Mia Yim has left in Impact, if this is the last match she has, that's a hell of a way to go out. So either way.
That's mentality about it too.
Yeah.
It's not going to be so much a retirement match for Mickie James, but a farewell match for Mia Yim. It does seem
fitting. At this point, it really does seem fitting. All right. Well, that being said, majority agree with us. 80% believe in Mickie James, while 20% believe the HBIC may send Hardcore Country, HOME, but we shall soon see. All righty. Well, as we continue on from there down this stuttered card of championship matches and definitely some sleepers to say the least, let's go ahead and talk about the Kingdom Come, as the Impact World Tag Team Championships are on the line, as Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, of course, the OGK, they defend them against, good luck, the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm, of course, talking about Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, El Sabin. And, of course, I alluded to that we saw Matt Taven and Alex Shelley go one-on-one this Thursday at Impact for the first time under Impact. But I saw these two live back in Toronto, The same time we were there. In 2019, at Ring of Honor Summer Supercard over the Ring of Honor World Championship. When I look back at both these matches, I think I like the Impact match a bit more. But as we saw right now, momentum is in favor of Motor Machine Guns. But we have to consider the one factor here, and that is Maria. As we know, OGK, they won these titles for Honor No More off the Good Brothers, as they do work for now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Bullet Club work. So the way I see it is this, because we talk about Bullet Club, we talk about Honor No More, we talk about the tag titles, we talk about this division, we talk about names that we haven't even seen yet on this card, particularly Chris Bay and Ace Austin. The chance to retain, I see Chris Bay and Ace Austin, that could be the next program. But also, when it comes to the ecosystem of Impact Wrestling, I can see Chris Bay and Ace Austin facing up against the Motor City Machine Guns, who beat Aussie Open to get this opportunity in the first place. So it comes down to, who do I see carrying this company still as the Impact World Tag Team Champions? And why Mike Bennett's career has been reignited, having so much fun in this Honor No More setup, I do wonder, again, how much longer he's going to be part of the Impact Wrestling ecosystem. So for me, I feel the Motor City Machine Guns are going to get it done again. I believe they're going to be new champs. What's your thoughts towards this, Jerry?
There really is no Honor No More. It's just pretty much just the Kingdom at this point. Vince is off doing his own thing. PCO's just off being a monster, and he's not really no affiliation at all at this point. Like,
pretty much.
I think it's just not back down to Bennett and Taven, and it's just pretty much OGK. Like Honor No, like, and even Edwards at this point, he's got his sights set on the championship, which we'll talk about here in a little while.
And there might be more than just that on the line based on what we heard on Thursday. Continue.
In the long run, they could drop the belts, disappear from Impact, and what's there left? There's really nothing. There'd be honor no more, or no more, honor no more. So
not to sound redundant.
Yeah, it's not too far fetched at this point for them to drop the belts to the Motor City Machine Guns, and yes, face off against Chris Bay and Ace Austin. They can easily just hot potato the belts over to them at this point, and then like Motor City Machine Guns go back to Japan, or they go to AEW because they had like Alex Shelley had Chris Sabin had a good run over there, or like a short run. He was in one match, but
there's one match, man.
But it was still fun. Like anytime Chris Sabin is in a match, it's going to be fun regardless.
No doubt.
So I'm going to go ahead and say it: the Motor City Machine Guns pick up the win and get the tag team belts off OGK. And if Maria plays a factor, she plays a factor, but I doubt she will.
That Kingdom Falls. Honestly, I could see OGK going back to the NWA and going after those titles because I know they recently challenged for those titles too.
Either one of these teams can go anywhere, but if you're going to go with nostalgia for a Battle for Glory, you put the belts back on the Motor City Machine Guns. And we see progression going on. You put the tag belts onto Chris Bay and Ace Austin shortly after that.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's definitely that. And
make it even more interesting. Make it Ultimate X tag team match. Have both the belts hanging up in the middle, of the ring.
Oh, now that'd be a good way to send OGK out the door and literally take these titles to another level because they haven't seen that in a long time. I like that a lot. And this
you could even make a triple threat. You could have OGK versus Motor City Machine Guns versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay.
And that literally brings the whole Bullet Club on no more thing full circle too, and maybe to a close. And that literally could be OGK's last match. So I feel like regardless, we kind of know where these titles are going, but it more so feels like that Motor City Machine Guns, they're going to do why they are the most influential team in Impact Wrestling history, and that is win the tag team championships for I believe a fourth time or is it third time now? I lost count. Stat boy, help me. Oh, he's nowhere found. Well, anyway, yep, we got new champs. He'll save it. That being said, wow, it's practically 50-50 here. And more do believe that the champs will retain. Literally a 7% difference. 53% believe in the Kingdom and 46% believe in Motor City Machine Guns. So that just goes to show how polarized this match actually is.
You've got two very conflicting styles. You got the more traditional style of the OGK, and you've got the high flying and very fast paced of the Motor City Machine Guns. So it only makes sense that it's going to be 50-50 because you have your traditionalists, you have your ones that are more about the flippy spinny shit.
And, to put it in layman's terms for those that might be a little bit uneducated, I am not Matt Striker, but I'm glad to be your teacher. That being said, all right. Well, from a very polarizing tag clinic to an absolute physical warfare that's going to redefine the word smashing. And I'm not talking about Nigel from the Wild Thornberries. By the way, Nigel McGuinness, WWE, what the fuck? Anyway, that's a whole different conversation for another day.
Desmond Wolfe, don't forget.
True. Impact Knockouts World Championship is on the line as the Juggernaut Jordan Grace defends the gold against the undefeated Masha Slamovic. Where do we begin on the tail of the tape with this? Since Masha found her way into Impact Wrestling after Knockouts knockdown impressions against the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo in a losing effort, she has been on an absolute undefeated roll of destruction, including overcoming Deonna Purrazzo to earn this opportunity in the first place. And since then, in the short run, we have seen both these women test each other via Pick Their Poison. Jordan Grace survived Max the Impaler after a ridiculous apron spot too. Jesus. And then Jordan Grace tried to one-up that by ushering in the sadistic side of Masha Slamovic and testing her to her limits against GCW represent Alley Catch, to the point it ended with Snowplow on text and razor-sharp, half-cut open cans. I don't even want to know what her back looked like after that. Jesus Christ. As we saw this past Thursday, the champ has tremendous respect for the challenger, but actions speak louder and more than words, as one sentence sent everything into basically a tailspin. There's only one motivation here, but someone's going to lose something regardless. What it comes down to, does a streak end or does a reign end and a new one begin? Jerry, your thoughts towards this, and who do you got?
I see Rocky 4. I see Rocky versus I see Rocky Balboa versus Ivan Drago. Like Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed, and then Rocky pretty much got the tar knocked out of him the entire match. Pretty much had to let Drago wear himself down in order to take advantage and take the and get the win. So I think that's going to be the same thing that happens with Jordana and Masha. Is the fact that Grace is going to take a whole bunch of punishment in this match.
No doubt.
She is, but it's going to wear her it's going to wear Masha down to the point where she'll actually be able to get the pinfall on her. So I see a champions retaining and a feel good moment, if you will.
Wow. Well, we know Jordan Grace, again, she survived. She successfully defended this title against Mia Yim most recently back in Emergence, and again, she survived Maxine Spiller. But Masha Slavis has pretty much run through everybody in this entire division. And with the likes of her and Killer Kelly both here as undefeated forces, I have seen them face each other one-on-one before, but not Impact Wrestling. I want to see these two collide over the championship. Jordan Grace has accomplished everything. Again, she even said it. She talked about her resume. She's the first ever Triple Crown knockout. She won the tag title. She won the Digital Media Championship, the inaugural, might I add. And now she is a 3-time Knockouts champion after winning the first ever Queen of the Mountain match. For me, I feel that Masha is going to be tested unlike anything we've seen before in Impact Wrestling, because you do bring up a good point. What does it take to wear down this challenger that just keeps fighting back? We saw what happened in that Monsters Ball match, and I still can't believe what I saw during that.
There's a bit of show of respect at the end from her to Grace, also. So yeah. that would be something a little different. So
true, and again, when it comes to booking, Impact Wrestling is definitely not typical as we have seen, especially on monthly freaking Impact Plus specials. I feel that Masha is literally going to smash Grace more than anybody has before. The turning point for me in this match will be if Jordan Grace hits the Grace driver and Masha kicks out. If Masha kicks out of that, she's the new champion because nobody's kicked out of that move. That will show how much Masha can be more than Jordan Grace and can outpower her and outlast her too. You talk about endurance. I talk about that from a different perspective. I'm actually going against you. I think that Masha is going to become the new Knockouts World Champion, and maybe, just maybe,
good on you, Noah.
That sets up something down the line with Killer Kelly. Look, the beauty of the Knockouts division: innovation, flexibility, variety, recreation. We've seen Jordan Grace as the chaser. We've seen Jordan Grace as the hunted countless times over. Now we'll see what happens if she loses it again and what she does from here. Now she has done everything. Who does she start rivalry with? Does she go heel? And who does Masha mark next? As Masha has just marked everybody to destroy. Now that she's the champion, she'll be the one that will be targeted. Whether or not she chooses to target anybody just to prove her absolute dominance is a whole nother story. It turns the whole thing upside down. So I believe that Masha is somehow going to come out of this on top as the new Knockouts champion, because I could see this match being revisited, but I feel Bound for Glory, that's where you have the biggest moment happen. I feel Masha becoming champion is the biggest moment, especially with the fact that it was the main event segment of Impact this past Thursday. This right here feels like the biggest match or fight on this card, and that says a lot with everything else that's on here.
I'm about to say the real winner in this one's going to be the fans, because this will probably be the dealer of the evening.
Damn right. Let's see what we got here. It looks like you are with the majority. They believe the champ will retain at 61. I'm in the minority. But again, sometimes Hail Marys happen.
I'm about to say that's still pretty close.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. 38% believe in Masha and 60% basically believe in Jordan Grace. Holla if you hear her or get smashed or get killed. You decide.
If she dies, she dies.
Well, I mean, again, I don't speak Russian, but I feel like she pretty much said that emphatically.
Yep.
Okay. Well, with that being said, that just leaves one more match for the night as we talk about the future of Impact Wrestling. Let's talk about literally an ideology tested on both the halves here, and maybe a marriage. As the Impact World Championships on the line, of course, the main event, the most prestigious prize of this company. As Josh Oxley defends not only the gold, but the brand. Does that sound familiar? And the ideologies of this company against Honor No More's leader, Eddie Edwards, who is hell-bent on finally making his vision, his perception, his mission statement a reality. And I'm not going to say anything else, as I always leave the main event to Jerry. So, Jerry, take it away. The hype for this, your thoughts, what's to come, and who leads Bound for Glory with the Impact World Championship, considering what Eddie Edwards has already done since being a part of Impact Wrestling, in and out of it.
I was about to say I don't see Eddie Edwards winning as much as I hate to say it because like Josh Alexander, he's been doing great as champion. He's a great stalwart for the group, and like I want him to at least hold the belt for a year.
Right.
But like part of my brain also clicks on to like the fact that Steve Macklin possibly could win this like call your shot thing, and then we have a Moose thing happen all over again. But this time,
Lord.
but this time Macklin doesn't win. Like he tries to attack Alexander after the match, cash in, and doesn't win the match. That could also happen too. But same time, even if that doesn't happen, I still see Josh Alexander retaining in a very hard fought, and just it's gonna be almost I feel like an epic confrontation, and it's gonna be great.
Definitely knows personal.
but the fact that anybody cashing in on Josh Alexander tonight, if from that match, they're gonna lose because he's not gonna let the same thing happen to him again, and that was just horrible. That was horrible to watch. Yeah. It was great entertainment. Don't get me wrong. It was great. It was great. It was great for business at that point. But at the same time, I don't see a repeat. I see him learning from his mistakes and learning to watch his back for right after that match, and just like that'll be it. So hopefully, Josh Alexander just pulls off the W here.
Again, I mean, you kind of took the words out of my mouth when I think about Macklin, but I was also thinking that Macklin calls a shot, but Moose maybe denies it, spears him in mid-call, and Moose still makes his presence be known that I am
that actually that'd be pretty cool too, kind of like your Keith Lee Adam Cole type moment where Macklin's running down to the ring, all of a sudden you see Moose come out of nowhere, just knocking him against.
Exactly. And then maybe the system of triple threat down the line or at some point. But I also, when I talked about the knockouts, maybe it's not a male that calls the shot. Maybe it's a female that calls their shot, but doesn't necessarily take the shot, just makes them aware that the shot is coming. That's why I went with Killer Kelly. Boom, Killer Kelly, my service is set up.
The thing is with that sounds a little too much like the whole MJF thing. And I think they're trying to distance themselves from that. Because, so you don't want that kind of ending. You don't want Steve Macklin up there, doing a weird type chuckle thing, but knowing full well that he's got, like, he can call a shot whenever he wants to. That doesn't seem like his style. He's very much like a mercenary, and he'll just try to sneak in and attack. There won't be any fanfare for it. Right. So I don't see him doing that, but yeah.
Well, again, the beauty of Impact Wrestling, possibilities are not that obvious or predictable. But I do agree with you. I feel that Josh Alexander is going to retain. And again, Eddie Edwards, he's going to probably pull everything out here, including Kenny the Candlestick, maybe his Honor No More family. Maybe we finally see PCO and him implode, and that plays towards maybe a moment in the match, not the climax, but, like a hanging moment of which way now it could go. Maybe Alicia comes down after Eddie goes to such degrees to try to retain this championship, assaulting referees. How many shenanigans?
I can see a whole bunch of people trying to interfere, but a whole bunch of people blocking the interference to make that match actually happen. So
considering how much we've seen the likes of Heath Slater, Rich Swann, and others confront Honor No More, there's a number of possibilities here, but also people even talked about what if Rich Swann betrays Impact and goes to Eddie's side, and that's how Eddie wins the belt as well. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I don't think you want that ending for Bound for Glory.
No, I don't think so either.
That sounds like very much like an ending for Impact special events. That'll pave the way towards the next pay-per-view, next big pay-per-view, but not right now. Not at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, again, it's Bound for Glory. It's not about nostalgia. It's about the biggest night of the year, claiming your name in the record books and claiming gold. This is about making your moment, not celebrating moments per se.
Yeah.
And that's really the difference between Slammiversary, which was the last pay-per-view, folks, believe it or not, and this pay-per-view, like you said, Jay, it's their WrestleMania, Bound for Glory. So considering that I'm sure we'll get some sort of weird video thing about this person's coming from New Japan Pro Wrestling, I do believe that Josh Alexander is going to actually hit the year-long milestone, at least as champion, and it continues from here. And by the way, this does not mark necessarily a year because, again, last year he lost it literally the same night. So he deserves the actual moment at the end of Bound for Glory to stand tall as champion. without losing it. Now, if he gets assaulted, that's a whole different angle. But yeah, I got Josh Alexander retaining too. A majority are with Impact as well. Believe that Josh is going to retain at 90%, while 10% believe in Eddie Edwards. And with that being said, that pretty much is the entire Bound for Glory pay-per-view. So again, there's a lot of different polarizing ways several matches can go, and I like that. And I honestly don't feel like I'm going to be like, what the eep, or really pissed off if something happens unexpectedly that I don't want to see. So I'm looking forward
because
to
you
this
want that
entirely.
unexpectedness from Impact. You really do.
Exactly.
As long as it makes sense, it's fine. Because like they had that way. Scott DeBoer's got that way of making things make sense and giving us things we didn't know we wanted, but we do.
Yeah. Again, Scott DeBoer, somehow that guy, and Gail Kim, by the way, brilliant duo in booking. Probably the most brilliant duo in booking right now.
He's had years upon years, like
in and out ring experience.
I'm about to say he's been cultivating his rosters and everything. It's his Border City Wrestling. He knows how to use his talent. He's pretty much like a Canadian Paul Heyman. He knows what the hell he's doing.
And Gail Kim, at this point, she has Mickie James and Soto Del Rey wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that's all we have for Impact Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed this pre-end predictions for this phenomenal period that is ahead for us, too, as we look forward to what's next for the 21st year and beyond in Impact Wrestling. Before we conclude this first part of this simple, impactful double feature, Simplin Predictin 2, Jerry, again, man, always a pleasure. Good luck to you. Anything you want to plug, promote, where can people find you?
I am very confident with my picks this evening. But you find me on Twitter. You find me on Twitter at General_JSJ. My Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR, exclamation
point. Don't forget it.
You can find us there, and like mostly it's memes, but we have discussions every now and then. Just post videos. We just talk about anything that is wrestling. And there's really no bashing of any promotions. Like just post wherever you want in there, and it's fun. It's great.
I feel like that falls on Dev's years. Wrestling can be fun. Yeah, what a crazy concept. Learn something, people.
Basically, like people just get up in arms about the whole thing. It's like the WWE's better, AEW's better. It's pro wrestling, okay?
Damn it!
You call it sports entertainment if you want. Even then, like it's like Triple H try and get people away from like the whole sports entertainment aspect and bring it back to wrestling, which is nice. So I'm all for it.
And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like I simply say, it may not be the end of the video, but I'll say it here too as this first part concludes. Just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling too. It's as simple as that. Again, Jerry, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. May you enjoy Bound for Glory. May you have a great work shift. And until next time we convene, folks, this has been the Simple and Powerful Duo. We hope you enjoyed another Impact Wrestling Simplin Predictin panel. We'll be back with the next Impact Plus special. Stay tuned for part 2 of this fun little double feature. Jerry, adieu.
What's that?
I don't know. What's up, Doc? Bye, Jerry.
Bye.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that first half as we get ready to change gears into Impact Wrestling. Before I bring on the NoDQ Galaxy Panel, I will say this. It's good to always try and reinvent stuff to make things feel fresh, but Nigel McGuinness was the last announcement they had with Real Personality. That's all I got to say about that. All right, before we get into stuff now with everyone else, let's get Christopher Ross in here as we wait for Jeff. Wait a minute. There we go. Get everybody in here. Hey, hello, my friends. How are you? Speak
I'm
now,
doing
forever hold your
fantastic.
peace.
It's the weekend, thank God.
It's the weekend, and you know what that means. We have double features across 3 brands in particular for all things wrestling. Shout out to my entire W family on Twitter. And it starts tonight with AEW Rampage Battle Bells. Before that, Bound for Glory. But also, of course, tomorrow night, we go extreme in the home place of it. Extreme Rules. Before we get into that, as I just keep the ball rolling, Chris, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm getting excited for Extreme Rules tomorrow night. I'm giving this show a 8 out of 10. The match I'm looking forward to is definitely the fight pit between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. I'm
Seth
definitely
freaking
looking
Rollins.
forward on that. And before we go to Jeff Chadwick, I want to take this time right now. Last Friday, I found out some unfortunate news. Please keep my family in your prayers. Last Friday, I found out that my mom has stage 1 breast cancer.
Damn.
So keep my mom in your prayers as she battles stage 1 breast cancer in the month of October, as she has a fight ahead of her.
Hey, man, we got nothing but love for you and your family. On behalf of me and I'm sure the entire good-hearted people in the NoDQ Galaxy, our prayers are strength with you and your mother. We know your mom can pull through this. You're a fighter, and I know she's a fighter too.
Yep.
Because genes does not far from the family tree. And you definitely got that power from your mother to keep moving forward. I know she will too. And yeah, that's a simple statement. Simple as that. All right. Jeff, how are you looking forward to Extreme Rules tomorrow night? What's your most excited, anticipated match, and how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Another long week behind me. Another short weekend ahead of me.
Hey.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm doing good. I got a bottle of Moscato ready to go for tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, I plan on getting a little inebriated, but it's definitely going to be worth it.
I'd say there's no rest in the industry. That's our problem.
That's right. The wine industry will never go out of business. Anyway, I'm looking forward also to the pit match. I have my own little speculation of what I think is really going to happen. So when we get to that, let me go first on that one.
All right, fair
but
enough.
all the matches look really good. I'm glad Extreme Rules, every match has a stipulation, unlike the previous years where there's only been 1 or 2.
Right.
Every match has a stipulation, and I love it.
And they're not repeats. By the way,
Exactly.
Josh here with our fun little note here. And by the way, go follow his mashup article and follow him on Twitter. Good, wholesome felt, the Cleveland Combatant, Ohio represent. Good luck tomorrow, Josh. Here's a fun note. This week's Extreme Rules Premium Live event is only the 5th WWE pay-per-view in history where the only title matches are women's title matches. Rumbles 88, 89, Evolution, and Backlash 22 are the others. The more you know, folks. And stay tuned for that question to probably come up on Wrestling Trivia Challenge. Well, thank you for that, Josh. And a quick note, shout out to my brother from church, Paul Mead. He and I will be facing each other one-on-one tomorrow in Combat Wrestling Trivia. Round 2. Why does this guy want to keep facing me in a word that I'm not used to? I'm a commentator and an analyst, damn it. I'm not a trivia buff. I'm not Greg Cherry. But anyway. Before we get into also this, I want to give also some quick opinions regarding Bound for Glory. I expect a few surprises in Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Go Josh. Finally, Swinger Daddy, man. Oh, good Lord almighty. People on the Swinger train. Get off that. Honor No More breaks up. Have a great weekend at Impact Rules. It's going to be excellent. Thank you, everybody, of course, who contributed towards that. And again, if you haven't already, folks, get your picks in. You still have time. Let me go ahead now and transition into the 3 realm of things as I talk about briefly the NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League and the Team League that, of course, I host. I'm currently in the middle of the plaque, but, of course, Crew, that freaking Super Saiyan with a power over 9,000, still leads the entire team. I don't know how the hell this guy does it. If you haven't already, go check out the NoDQ review and the official Team NoDQ predictions panel on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel as well. As right now, Christopher Rotz, you are leading the Galaxy in first place with 74 points. So pressure's on you to keep that spot, but also keep outdoing the team as I wait for Excel with its slow-moving ass to finally come up here. And let's see here. Jobs with the thought. Wasn't Aaron or Caitlin who won last year? They co-won both last year with the same score. That was not a sole winner. But yes, you're right. As far as the top 10 for the Galaxy, Chris is number 1, followed by Greg, Richard Morales, Ashley Reynolds, Chess Rotz, Charlene, Adrian Hennigan, King Kieta, Jeff Chadwick, and Mark Griffith. So, guys, keep it up. And again, this keeps going all year. And, folks, your opinions matter. Link to that forum and that link as well is in the description down below. Get them in. All right. So, without further ado, as we bantered and statistically talked about a bunch of things too, let's get right into it. So, as we know, Extreme Rules is on the Peacock tomorrow night, premium live event at 8 p.m. Standard Time. Probably a kickoff with won't have a wrestling match. Go figure. No. I'll give Triple H some leniency. He might actually do that just for the hay of it, because who wants to hear a bunch of pointless people banter over the same thing 24/7 times? So it might surprise me. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this match first. This is the first ever singles women's ladder match in WWE main roster history for a championship, and we truly will see who owns all the control. Is she truly the one in control, or once again will the smartest overcome? Because I think that's the number one thing you need to be in this match. As Bianca Belair defends the Raw Women's Championship against Bayley in a ladder match. And as we know, this all stems back from SummerSlam after Bianca successfully defended against Becky, and the mutual respect was found among them. Then Bayley, ding dong, hello, welcomed herself back in with some friends, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, the former Io Shirai, for those that remember original names. And we've seen now they go basically have these titles that still don't mean jack doodly squat to me, but still, I guess that's a president's thing. And we've seen Bayley basically judge act the champ, but also Bayley was the one to pin the champion back at Clash of the Castle, which basically put her at the forefront to challenge for the title in the first place. The things I want to consider here to let you guys talk about is next event, as we know, is not on my radar. Contrary to redacted. I'm, of course, talking about Survivor Series War Games. Whoever comes out here as champion is going to have a dominant effect with their team going to War Games. Because I definitely see Team Bayley, aka Damage Control, facing Team Bianca. Now, whether or not that affects the Raw Championship going forward or something else, that's yet to be determined. But that's what I see. So I do see shenanigans and outside influences getting involved here from internally in the roster, because brand split, LOL, doesn't exist. Shotzi Blackheart's been involved at the forefront. Candice LeRae's been involved in the forefront. Nikki Cross could be a factor. Will we see both Alexa Bliss and Asuka? Because there's been talk about that too. So let's go ahead and see what you guys think is going to happen here as far as this match goes, and who climbs the ladder and grabs the gold too. And Chris, you will go first.
Well, this is going to be an interesting match between Bianca Belair and Bayley.
Josh, are you confirming that, or are you just speculating that?
Well, I found this out on Twitter. The runtime tomorrow is going to be 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That's terrible.
For tomorrow night, and the main event of tomorrow's Extreme Rules is what we're talking about right now. Is the Raw Women's Championship match. I heard that's gonna be the main event tomorrow night.
Okay,
this is gonna be interesting. We have to go back and see when was the last time the women main evented a premium live event. You're
talking about premium live event? That's a whole different stigma versus pay-per-view.
So I think it has to be possibly WrestleMania, Survivor Series. This is going to be special. The first ever one-on-one singles women's title match in WWE main roster history. It's going to be unbelievable tomorrow. Bayley, I'm glad she came back at SummerSlam with friends that we didn't even know if they were going to be in WWE or not. Dakota Kai, Io Sky. I was shocked about that at SummerSlam. And then Bayley, she pinned the Raw Women's Championship at Clash of the Castle. How this story is going to be about is my pick is Bianca Belair to walk out as the Raw Women's Championship, and I can see her going to WrestleMania and defend that Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. That is being heavily rumored that we're going to get Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship, and I do see that happening at WrestleMania. So my pick is Bianca Belair to walk out tomorrow night as still the Raw Women's Championship.
All righty, so he has set the standard. Okay, Jeff, as we saw on Monday Night Raw, I understand usual WWE booking philosophy is the person that stands triumphant at the end of a contract signing is usually the one to lose. As we saw, it was Bayley and Damage Control on the ladder. So just from that booking sounding, Chris sounds like he's on point. But this is the Triple H era, and might I add, the first fully 100% creative on U.S. soil Triple H guided premium live events. We've already heard talks that Charlotte Flair, whenever she comes back, she wants to go after the Women's Championship, and Belair vs. Flair is a program yet to happen. But Belair has already overcome two of the freaking 4 horsewomen of my NXT. Bayley right now is the third. Do they drag this program out further, or is this like literally one and done under the most extreme circumstances? So, Jeff, your thoughts. Where do we go from here, or does Bayley regain the championship?
Well, as Chris stated, this is the first main roster women's singles ladder match, and that's what's got me pumped about this. Now, there have been singles women ladder matches before. However, they were in NXT. I mean, I would take Io Shirai and Candice LeRae at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my list here. I had it all.
There was Mia Yim, I believe,
Yep.
and
Io Shirai, I think.
Yeah, it was Io Shirai because Kaylee Ray.
Io Shirai, yep, and that was on NXT TV. So that was on a regular NXT show.
Exactly.
So it's been in the past, and I mean even matches that involved ladders. Like the one that sticks out to me is Nikki Cross and Asuka. I mean, it was just on the crazy. But we're talking main roster.
NXT Women's Championship. My NXT. Yep. Sorry.
That's right. Which is slowly making a comeback. Anyway, I digress.
Very still out on that, but I
have a feeling that with the fact that Damage Control is in control. You like that? I like that. Of the NXT of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, you're going to see a brand new champion crowned in this, and it will be Bayley. I think this is the golden opportunity to do it, and I honestly would like to see, the Women's Tag Team Champions and Raw Champion go up against the NXT Women's Champion, and hopefully, cross fingers, that that Toxic Attraction regains the tag titles, because that would be one hell of a 6-man tag, and I think something could come of that. So I believe that in my gut is telling me Bayley is going to win this, and it's going to be with outside interference. Obviously, in a ladder match, anything's possible. So anybody can interfere, and it's completely fine. Especially, actually, anything in this night of Extreme Rules, anyone can interfere, and it's totally fine. But I've got Bayley winning this. I think that she's had a year off to recuperate. She's come back. She's looking great. I think she's looking fantastic in the ring right now, and it doesn't look like she's had any ring rust. I mean, she's obviously been training and all that kind of stuff to make her return, which she did at SummerSlam. But I think this is the night where she regains it.
Okay, so it's 1-on-1. I think that's fair. Let's see what Josh had to say here. Asuka's storyline hurt. Keyword storyline. Alexa is getting fiend dead. It's going to be 3-on-1 out there. No chance. Damage Control need to tie her hair to the ring post. Then we get Sasha. But again, you're still speculating though on outside influences. There's been high nor tail nor nothing said about Sasha and Naomi even being brought back on screen. Period. Right. That's why I don't even consider them being part of the match. If there's going to be games beyond Asuka and Alexa, because in the other room, involved in this match, I'm thinking again, Candice LeRae and Nikki Cross on each side respectively. Mm-hmm. So I understand where you both are coming from, though, with your picks. Has Bianca's reign gone on long enough? Has it gotten stale since the Becky program is over? Does Bayley deserve to have the championship? Now she's back in her first championship match since coming back. Does it make sense for Survivor Series War Games to not necessarily be Bianca Belair versus Team Bayley, but maybe NXT versus the other brands? I have no idea what War Games is going to be, but I do know it's just red and blue. So maybe we are speculating a little bit far outside the realm of that, Jeff. But I do like that thought. Right. Josh also brought up the idea that Charlotte needs to go to SmackDown, not Raw. Well, there is possibility that she could maybe do something with Liv, maybe, or a former enemy. But also, we have not had Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair. And she's already made her intentions known. She wants to go after the Raw Women's Championship. We've seen Charlotte versus Bayley for enough of a century.
Right.
I think after what you said, though, Jeff, and the fact that maybe Asuka and Alexa won't be involved here, everything does go to the challenger. And it is a gimmick match, so technically the champion is not hurt in defeat. With these gimmick matches, you don't usually think of faces winning them in the first run. You think of them more as an end game. And Bayley versus Bianca is just starting. But I don't know how they're going to handle Country Redacted or Survivor Series War Games, which is what's throwing me off.
Well, see, I think that if you're talking about Endgame, that's where Last Woman Standing, I Quit, matches like that would come into play. A ladder match, to me, is not an Endgame match. That is one that could get the ball rolling really good. Because you're talking Endgame, you're talking about, as I said, maybe Falls Count Anywhere, maybe a Last Woman Standing, as I said, or an I Quit match. That could be the finale of the feuds. But a ladder match, I mean, true, it kind of made sense for a ladder match at the time with Michaels and Razor Ramon, because there was 2 titles on the line. There was an extra thing happening there. So to unify those 2 titles, that I could see as the end game. But here, there's no unification. I think that the ball is rolling, but this is a great place to start in a ladder match.
Ah, crap.
So it's a tough one to choose. It really is.
Well, based on the team, majority actually did pick Bayley. They don't think Bianca is going to come out of this as the champion. But again, we saw what happened on Raw. Bayley took out the champion.
Yeah.
I gotta stick. I feel like the safe bet here right now, just on WWE booking, because yes, Triple H is running things, but there's still a lot of McMahon bookings mechanics in play.
Right.
Obviously, hello, repetitive Monday Night Raw and constantly distracted finishes of this Monday night. What the hell? Was there one match that did not have a friggin' distraction or oddball finish? Good grief. But yeah, I feel like just because of that angle, I gotta go with Bianca retaining. I feel like they're gonna drag this out further, and as far as damage control goes, they're gonna try and continue their dominance of controlling everything. And really, what have the tag champs done with the tag titles? I'm just saying, it's almost like, what's the point? I'm gonna say they drive this out to War Games and set up something for day 1 that sets Bayley up to run WWE for 2023. I'm going to say Bianca retains because this program's just starting because they got nothing else. They got nobody else. All right. Ooh, that was tough. Damn, that was just the first match. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about, well, Jeff, you did talk about endgame scenarios, and I like what you said, the ladder match, not usually an endgame. I think about Edge versus John Cena TLC, which technically was a ladder match for WWE Championship. Back at Unforgiven 2006, I think about Seth Rollins, when he was not freaking at the time in nameplate, against the former Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship back at Money in the Bank. I think about the unification with Randy Orton and John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So I get what you're saying. But you did bring up one gimmick that does sound like an end game, because I don't know where you go after you say these 2 words. What else are you after you willingly say, I quit? So let's go ahead and talk about this, as I feel like Judgment Day is finally going to carry out final judgment. And I'm going to leave it at that so that you start this one off, Jeff. I quit match between Edge and Finn Balor. Ever since Dominic Mysterio betrayed Edge and his father back at Clash of the Castle, which was way longer than it should have been when it came to burning that angle. Jeez. But so far, it definitely has worked. And now with a new puppy, hello, Rhea, it seems like this has gotten as personal as it can get. With everything that's been said about Finn Balor, though, getting a major push, and he is definitely a Triple H guy, if not top 3 at this point. It seems like he is literally the leader of Judgment Day. And with this program subsiding where maybe he and AJ Styles come together or go against each other, does that come into play here? Does Rey Mysterio come into play on Edge's behalf? Does Dominic and Rey finally have a fallout that leads to maybe a one-on-one with them, which I feel like is the ultimate end game of this entire Judgment Day saga? Or do you get what TJ has suggested to you, Seth, for another pointless mixed tag team match with Rhea Ripley and insert name from Judgment Day here against Edge and Beth Phoenix? No, I really want to see Beth Phoenix one-on-one with Rhea Ripley. That sounds like the bigger money match to me. So those are just my quick thoughts, as I have not given a pick. Jeff, what's your thoughts towards this, and what's your pick?
I love I Quit matches. It's just the one that sticks out in my mind, though, is Rockin' Mankind. The best one I think I've ever seen, even though the I Quit was recorded.
That was recorded.
But still, I quit matches are, as I said, are a end staple in my opinion, of a feud. Edge Judgment Day has been going on for quite some time now, and no one really has the upper hand. This is a chance for somebody to finally end this whole thing, whether it be the Judgment Day and Finn Balor, or whether it be Edge himself. I think that with what's gone on in the past of how Judgment Day was getting upper hands on Edge, trying to injure him and this, that, and the other, I think this is Edge's time to end this whole thing. Judgment Day can go on, do whatever they want to do, but as far as Edge is concerned, I think this is where it stops. Don't be surprised if you will see Beth Phoenix. I have a gut feeling that
I definitely agree about that.
She's going to be there. She's going to take care of ooey puppy, and and Rey Mysterio could finally come to blows with Dominic. I mean, it's a good possibility. This could be the match. You're going to have so much going on right now during this match. Exactly. I think this is where Edge ends this feud with Judgment Day. So I say that you'll hear Finn Balor utter those words, "I quit."
Wow. All right. Chris, my thoughts are this. He says Edge is going to be the one to make Finn say, "I quit." But I still feel like the end game of this entire Judgment Day saga is Dominic and Rey Mysterio. How much can a fighter take from their own son going against them, disrespecting them, let alone their legacy? At this point, I'm just waiting for Dominic to rip the mask off Mysterio's face.
That's the only thing he hasn't done.
What if Edge goes for the very concerto that he suffered at the hands of his Judgment Day, and Dominic Mysterio comes into play to either be the sacrificial lamb that drives Edge's ire so badly he almost does it to him, but Rey's like, don't do that. And somehow we turn this into more of a theatrical angle where a choice of consciousness forces someone's will, not someone themselves, to say, "I quit." I feel that someone is going to quit on Edge's own behalf or well-being, and Finn Balor is going to get the victory. So that's my simple take on that. I could go into this all night, but I pretty much summed up my thoughts on this on the Team NoDQ, and this is not about me, it's about the Galaxy, but it's also about wrestling. So it's one-on-one, again, as I believe Finn Balor is going to force Edge in some capacity to say, "I quit." Chris, where do you stand?
Before I do my prediction, who is the majority picking?
As far as the team go, because I just made that form recently live, it is almost split. It is 60% Edge, 40% Finn Balor.
And also in the betting odds, both of these superstars have the exact same odds. So they don't know. They don't know what is going to happen. This is why this match is so hard to predict for me. And even I was listening on Tuesday in the predictions video. I was still conflicted. I was still putting the I was still fickle because of it. But this is the first time ever that we're getting Edge versus Finn Balor, and that makes it so much interesting. And this whole entire thing with Edge and Judgment Day has been going on for so much, for so long. And I'm ready for Edge and Judgment Day feud to finally go their separate ways, and we can start getting some new feuds going on with Judgment Day and Edge. Maybe Judgment Day can go off and maybe have a rivalry with the Bloodline, maybe over on SmackDown for maybe War Games. Or maybe maybe Judgment Day can go after who we might be seeing tonight on Friday Night SmackDown, Legado del Fantasma. They could go after them. there's a lot of possibilities for Edge. I don't know who's next on Edge's radar right now. But
No one that I know of.
But
Yeah, about to say nobody at this point.
I just have a gut feeling, Jeff. You brought up a good point about Beth Phoenix. I believe she's going to be there tomorrow night in person. And here's how the booking is. I think either Rhea, Damian, or Dominic, they're going to find a way to get Beth maybe hurting, or I think Judgment Day is going to do something bad to Beth Phoenix, and it kind of plays in on what we saw with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell back in 2020, when Roman was putting the guillotine on Jimmy and Jey said, "I quit, I quit, I quit." I think
force the man's will.
I think that is going to happen. I think Beth is going to be there tomorrow. They're going to force Edge to say it. And I overheard this, that Triple H has big plans for Finn Balor. And I believe this is going to be one of them. I think this is going to be a big stepping stone for Finn Balor. And with my philosophy and my theory about this, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go with Finn Balor tomorrow to force Edge to say, "I quit."
There you go. And again, the Judgment Day program has been going on ever since Edge and AJ Styles had their match at WrestleMania, and Damian Priest was the first one to become part of it. Then, of course, we had the rematch at WrestleMania Backlash, where Rhea Ripley became a part of it. And then we saw the tournament, Finn Balor basically became a part of it and took over it. And while Rhea Ripley has not truly gotten physically involved yet, we might truly see her to the point that she will get more hands-on involved tomorrow night. So again, right now everything screams that Judgment Day is going to get the win here, and a program is going to continue with them. And Dominic and Rey Mysterio at the forefront, with Finn Balor and AJ Styles maybe towards the middle ground, while Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley is something to happen, hopefully not at Country Redacted, but somewhere where it actually matters. Now, whether or not this leads to Judgment Day versus insert team here at Survivor Series War Games, that remains to be seen. But yeah, everything right now feels like Judgment Day is going to find Edge guilty and force him to say, "I quit."
Now, I will say real quick before we go on, I think that Finn losing would not hurt him. I think that, yes, I agree. I think it's awesome that they're finally going to give Finn his push. Finally give him his push. But I don't think this loss is going to hurt that. So, I mean, this is where they split. He now is focused on doing that. He no longer has to focus on Edge. He no longer has to focus. I don't think the loss would hurt this whole him being pushed thing. I mean, I took that into consideration, and I really don't think it's going to hurt him. I mean, especially in these kind of matches, I don't think it's going to hurt anybody if they win or lose.
That's fair. Again, that's fair. Again, when you put yourself in a gimmick match, again, you can literally use that towards storytelling, towards technicality circumstances where you did legitimately beat me, etc., etc., etc. So, again, you do bring a lot of merit to your point. And again, the thing about this, first ever, fully Triple H creatively booked U.S. soil WWE Premium Live event. He's setting a standard, and it's already going to feel like, lengthwise anyway, a takeover. We'll see how it all plays out, and if something happens beyond the logo. A white rabbit. Sorry. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on from there as we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 matches left. I'll say that. All right, let's go ahead and change fades up, because I say, if there's one thing I enjoy, it's a good old-fashioned beating. But what the hell is a Donnybrook? As a 6-man tag team match happens with a good old-fashioned Donnybrook brawl between, how fitting, the Brawly Brutes of Pete Dunne. Yes, I'm still calling him that. Bite me if you think otherwise. Ridge Holland and Sheamus, fella. And we will see tonight if Sheamus completes the Grand Slam and dethrones Dalin General Walter, still calling him by his name. Bite me if you think otherwise. Of course, I'm talking about Walter and his crew, Imperium, the former Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, because I'm horrible with new names. I think the new names suck. Okay, so let's go ahead and think about this. This really came at the forefront where Walter and Sheamus, my God, what a war, had that match over the Intercontinental Championship back at Clash at the Castle, where Walter remained triumphant and is still the Intercontinental Champion after powerbombing Sheamus. And now they're going to revisit it for whatever reason before this premium live event tonight on SmackDown for the Intercontinental Championship. The biggest thing that's at stake here, Sheamus completing the Grand Slam. If you're going to set up a good old-fashioned Thunderbrook, which is just going to be an all-out six-man melee with weapons and beer balls and maybe a shillelagh, it sounds like to me this is made for the Brawling Brutes. So I'm going again off WWE booking, and I feel like that tonight, disqualification, Walter will retain the championship, but tomorrow night, based on the gimmick name of the match itself, you might as well give the Brawling Brutes something. And maybe this can even set up Pete numbers, Walter, which I really wouldn't mind. So at first I did say Imperium, but they're serious. For the month is circlet. And like you said, it's a gimmick. Nobody gets hurt. In a six-man tag, champion doesn't have to be involved in the decision of the fall. So I actually switched my pick, and I'm actually going with the Brawling Brutes as I kick this one off. Chris, since you ended the last one, let's go to you next. What's your thoughts towards this six-man melee that's in front of us? How much Guinness will be drank?
What's the majority picking?
Well, again, it's only been the team so far. Sorry, Jeff, if you almost had a spit take, a choke there.
You're good. You're good.
I'm not wrong, am I? I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're right.
80% believe in the Brawling Brutes, while 20% believe in Imperium.
Well, this is going. Well, I'm not going to say the word good, bad, worse, awesome. This match is going to be a banger after 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 banger. Oh, me and Bat was sure. I'll talk to you after the show.
I'm getting Vengeance Day vibes from the freaking barroom brawl when they put the bunny through a barroom window.
It's gonna be a banger.
Good Lord Almighty. Anyway, back to your pick.
Well, this
We've
is going to
lost
be a
all
banger.
control.
It's going to be banger after banger after banger after banger after banger.
I agree with you, fella, but who are you picking here in this your Donnybrook match? You got to pick a clue. Come on.
I'm going to go
closing time.
I'm going for Imperium.
All right. He just simply said Imperium. Okay, Jeff, once again, it is 1-1. Where do you stand? And Josh does make a good point, and everyone thinks this. This match could really depend on the result of tonight's Intercontinental title match, which has been receiving hype on Twitter from Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the Honky Tonk Man, wow, and Bret Hart, among others, named synonymous with what is called, or used to be called, and identified as the Workhorse Championship. Sheamus already has every accolade in the world. It's surprising he has never won this. So again, is this the last thing that Sheamus really needs? Or do we keep building it on Walter? Because you're obviously not going to do Walter versus Roman Reigns. So just get that out there right now, folks, okay? So, yeah, I just can't see Walter right now losing this championship. I feel like Sheamus deserves it, but Walter is a force to be reckoned with. And he can make this championship mean something for a long damn time. That's why I went with the fact that Walter loses disqualification, and the Brutes get their, a bit of revenge with bare knuckle brawling. So, Jeff, where do you stand?
Well, first of all, the banger after banger after banger kind of reminds me of the nice little skit between Christian and CM Punk in WWE, bitching and moaning and bitching and bitching. And bitching. That's the first thing I thought of when I was doing that. Which, of course, that was epic. Anyway, I think that I'm agreeing with you, Noah, on this. You had the same thoughts I did. I think that tonight it's going to be Gunther, Walter, keeping the title. I don't think that. I mean, I think that Sheamus will get this title before he retires, but just not while Gunther has it. Right. And if you remember back, that there was another famous person whose last run with a title was the Intercontinental title. That one being Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
And that's, that he had a great run with it, and that was the last title that he held in WWE. And I'm completely agreeing that Gunther, Walter, will take this tonight. And I completely agree that the Brawling Brutes will take this match. Why wouldn't they? And this is their match.
It's literally a set for them.
Yeah, exactly. This good old Donnybrook. I mean,
Donnybrook.
It's going to be a banger. It definitely heavily favors the Brawling Brutes. So I've got them winning, and I'm going on kind of like a little side note here with that. I think that you're going to see. It would not shock me if you saw Sheamus winning this over Gunther. To kind of like
put a bow on
rebound the night before. So and I would agree. That Butch versus Gunther is. I've been waiting for it. Their last match in NXT was out of this world.
Yes,
I want to see that again, and I think we will. But I think that it's going to be a little while before we do. But I'm gonna go on a limb and saying that Sheamus is gonna lose to Gunther tonight, but you're gonna see Sheamus getting it over with Gunther tomorrow and making the victory on that one.
Put a shillelagh to his head to really put a statement.
Yep.
Chris, you have a thought? Before you say that, I do want to say this. This is not the first time we had a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Because remember, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre had this.
Yep.
Sheamus lost.
Yep.
Well, I have a thought here. I'm going to add on to what I said. I have Imperium. Gunther's going to defeat Sheamus tonight for the Intercontinental Championship. And I already know who's going to be dethroning Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And
it's not going to be Ricochet.
It's not. This person is going to dethrone Gunther at WrestleMania either Saturday or Sunday for the Intercontinental Championship. And here's a prediction to make. I'm predicting Drew McIntyre is going to dethrone Gunther to become the new Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
Well, that's a hot take, considering Drew McIntyre is coming off a loss to Roman Reigns for the freaking WWE Undisputed Universal Championship at Clash of the Castle. But you draw an Intercontinental Championship program to that length and do it at WrestleMania, that would be pretty darn big, especially because that would be Walter's first ever WrestleMania, coming in as the champion. And please get his original damn feed back.
I can go one better. Instead of Drew, when he gets called up, Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov for the Intercontinental title.
That has to be something that's eventually revisited. Ilya Dragunov is the only guy to put a cheek in the armor that is Darlene General Walter at NXT TakeOver 36, where he dethroned him for the NXT UK Championship.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
I know, right?
Again, not my NXT! Don't get me started on that. All right. Well, since y'all talked about Drew McIntyre, and it sounds like Chris already knows when his time to shine will be. Well, let's see if his time's up tomorrow. As, of course, for the first time, Karrion Kross is on a premium live event. He faces Drew McIntyre in a strap match. And the strap match is not for corners. It's just literally a leather strap, bounds the two together. Pinfall submission wins. The strap is used as a legal weapon for any means necessary. All right. Chris, you can kick this one off first. What's your thoughts towards this match? It sounds like you said Drew McIntyre for WrestleMania, but does that mean he builds momentum starting tomorrow? Or does he fall deeper and then find his way back up, maybe at day one?
This match is gonna be good. Karrion Kross, I'm glad that he's back in WWE.
He's a Triple H guy. That makes sense.
With Scarlett, that pairing is gonna do some reckoning in WWE in years to come. With Drew McIntyre, caps off on an epic match with Roman Reigns at Clash of the Castle. I was nervous throughout that whole entire match. I thought he was good. I thought he was going to be the one, and I kept saying to myself, I kept telling myself, Drew, you could have it. You could have everything. But I was playing into Drew McIntyre's head. I was playing mind games to Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle.
As if Karrion Kross did enough at ringside.
So So this match with the strap is going to be good. It's going to be hard hitting. Tomorrow night, we're going to see TikTok win his first premium live event match. Karrion Kross has to win this. He needs to build momentum up, and I would be surprised if they decided to do Karrion Kross versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Maybe not at Crown Jewel because we're getting Reigns versus Logan Paul.
Oh, good.
Maybe Survivor Series War Games, or maybe day one we get Reigns versus Kross. So I think Karrion Kross wins tomorrow night at Extreme Rules.
All right. Well, Jeff, as Chris alluded to, this is Karrion Kross's first premium live event match and major program since coming back to the WWE back in the original package with Scarlett Bordeaux as, of course, the Dark Angel. Yes, thank God indeed.
Yep.
For both things. Ayo. So that being said, despite the gimmick that failed last week Friday, does Scarlett Bordeaux maybe play a factor in this? Does she just chant some weird incantation that hypes Karrion Kross up at a point that you think he's about to pass out, and maybe he uses the strap to straight jacket choke Drew McIntyre, as we know he uses that for submission? How does the strap come into play? Is that the deciding factor here, or is this just to try and keep the two within the ring in close combat? What's your thoughts towards this match?
Well, in previous strap matches, we've seen people take the strap off and use it as a weapon. We've seen them keep it on and use it as a weapon. This is like absolutely one of the most brutal matches there possibly could be, other than a barbed wire match, obviously, for those reasons. But, as far as just a regular thing, between the dog collar match and the strap match, you got two of the toughest and most brutal matches right there. Neither man are going to walk out the same. Bottom line, you're not going to see them walk out as themselves. You're going to see them walk out completely different, no matter who wins or who loses. Karrion Kross, now that we see his character the way we knew it in NXT, not this whole, what I don't even know what to call it. But, he's got Scarlett back at his side. Yeah, exactly. He's got Scarlett by his side. He's got a great look to him, changed up a little bit, but still, it's the Karrion Kross we all knew and loved back in NXT. I think this is a win for Mr. Karrion Kross. Why? Because his vignettes have been through the roof. I mean, these are extremely entertaining vignettes that he's been putting out week in, week out. And yes, Drew has his state in the ring. He states what he needs to state, and he's a great talker on the mic. That's a given. We already know that. But Karrion's got that extra little something that he's going to bring. And it's not just Scarlett. I think that you're going to see the straitjacket, but it's going to be modified with that strap. Which will, of course, it makes it even worse than what it already is. So you've got Karrion Kross walking out Saturday. As much as I love Drew, and I as I said earlier, gimmick matches, they're not going to hurt whether you win or lose. It's not gonna play a factor in that. So I've definitely got Karrion winning this. How can you not? And don't be surprised if you see the White Rabbit at some point, possibly during this match. It could possibly be this one, or it could be the Judgment Day one. It will be one of the two. But I think you're going to figure out who finally this White Rabbit is over the course of Extreme Rules.
Well, again, we've been teased and teased and teased with the red lighting, Jefferson Airplane, the QR codes, the shirt now that's a thing. Good grief almighty. How long can you tease? And as I agree with both of you, and it's unanimous right now across the polls too, everybody pays the toll. So, yeah, I feel that Karrion Kross is going to put Drew McIntyre out, put him to sleep, and probably use the strap for further leverage if not maybe to further like exhaust him. Because again, Drew McIntyre, that's a big dude. This is the first real serious program, by the way, for Karrion Kross. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a fight. But again, Joshua puts the point out here for Drew. This is the must-win by any means. For Kross, it absolutely is. Big someone said if Kross doesn't win, they might as well just made Jeff Hardy him. So yeah, y'all know.
Might as well bring back the Karrion Kross that they brought in the joke one. They might as well do
let's
that.
not and say we did. But
Yeah,
as
no.
you do talk about the White Rabbit, Aaron Riff, the leader and brainchild of NoDQ.com, and folks, say yes to NoDQ. He has to add circumstances. I'm just the Adam Pearce that makes them official with more hair. And no problem with Ronda Rousey. Sure, you learned that the hard way, didn't you? Say yes to NoDQ, folks. But he has decided to add a bonus point here. So it's a simple yes or no. And you can speculate maybe how it is teased or if it actually does happen. It goes like this. Does the White Rabbit, a.k.a. as we're thinking, keyword this individual, does Bray Wyatt appear in actual human form during the show? Yes or no? Chris, you're first.
Well, you know how me and TJS were speculating that Bray Wyatt was going to be showing up at Clash at the Castle, and it did not happen.
I told you both. I told you both. You didn't listen. I told you both.
I was so close, but with finally Bray Wyatt coming back to WWE, and I did hear tonight that we are getting the final QR code tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. There's a lot that's going to be happening on SmackDown tonight. Triple H is opening up Friday Night SmackDown tonight.
What?
Yeah, Triple H is.
Nice.
And then following that will be Roman, but the Intercontinental Championship match is the main event tonight.
Respect.
With the White Rabbit, it is definitely Bray Wyatt. And with the final QR code happening tonight, I think it is happening tomorrow at Extreme Rules. It's a yes. Bray Wyatt finally shows up to WWE again. And you know what? I don't think he's coming alone tomorrow. I don't think Bray Wyatt's coming alone. He's bringing someone else with him. And this is where my mind starts to go. He's coming back with his brother, Bo Dallas, tomorrow at Extreme Rules.
All right. Bold take. And the fact that you said it's the final QR code, that alone might make me change what I said officially on Tuesday. Again, predictions subject to change. But, Jeff, where do you stand with that knowledge now? Do you think Bray Wyatt will finally be let back in tomorrow night at Extreme Rules?
Well, first of all, the latest QR code that we saw on Raw, if you put the code into, I'm reading this off of a page, if you put it into a base 64 decoder, it translates 10822. Which is seemingly 10922. I'm sorry, which is
10822.
Yeah, 10. I'm sorry,
cute.
10922, which is the date of Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
How obvious is that? I mean, we have seen all these different ones in the past. You know, you had the zip code for Corbin, Kentucky, which threw everybody off. But I did my little research on that one, and there is a hotel, Wyndham Corbin Hotel, that is in Corbin, Kentucky. Wyndham spelled differently,
Lord.
but nonetheless. And all signs point towards Bray. And for the longest time, I will be one to admit that I thought personally it was Karrion Kross due to his Lucha Underground character.
Right.
Because it was the White Rabbit. I think that there have been some people say this is going to go on until Survivor Series. No, this is going to come to a culmination at Extreme Rules. We will see Bray there. Will he be by himself? We don't know. I mean, he could possibly be there with other people. But we will definitely see Bray in some form or fashion, not just a QR code, but physically there in some form or fashion, no matter what the character may be, we will see him at Extreme Rules.
It would be interesting, though, if he did show up during the Karrion Kross match, considering the White Rabbit that he was in Lucha Underground.
That's why I was thinking possibly during that match, he could show up.
Right, and I definitely put that together, too. And all you're missing now is Paul London. So, I mean, again, now you're talking about this final QR code. By the way, Chris, Josh asked, where did you see Triple H opening up SmackDown tonight? I'm not seeing that. Where did you see that? Was that officially tweeted by WWE, or is that on WWE.com?
Well, I saw it on Zero News on Twitter, XERO.
I'm not sure how reliable that
news.
is. That's not Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.
No, it's a news providing wrestling news, entertainment news, and reviews. And it says that it's time to play the game for tonight's opener. So I have, and then Roman will be following that, and then the IC title will main event, and then LA Knight's coming back tonight.
Thank God.
That I approve of.
Yes. Legado del Fantasma and Selena Vega's coming back.
Without Electra Lopez. Yes.
Yes. And then no other info at the time. The White Rabbit QR code is happening, and we're gonna get Ricochet versus Solo Sikoa tonight on Friday Night SmackDown.
Well, Ricochet's losing, but okay. Yep. That's not a pretty bad show. Again, I don't have Fox, so I'll look at the YouTube highlights. All right, and according to the team, a majority after that final QR tidbit are now saying yes, that Bray Wyatt will show up during the show. I am not going to say anything. I will hold out until the end of this video because Karrion Kross makes the most sense. Maybe has a different rival, maybe a segment of its own. How does this event conclude? What truly is the main event? What is the closer of this premium live event? Again, I don't know, and I'm not speculating. We'll see. Right. All right. Let's go ahead and move on from there as we got 2 matches left as we'll see how extreme Ronda Rousey can truly be. Liv Morgan is showing a lot of guts. You're fighting with a lot of heart. I just hope your brain is also in the right place, or Ronda's going to scramble it and take your arm permanently. As the SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line once again between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, but this time under Extreme Rules. Anything goes. Since Liv Morgan has won this championship back at Money in the Bank, literally cashing in the contract successfully, she did survive. Keyword, survive. Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, putting her shoulders down to the mat while her arm was slowly being pulled out of its socket. Eesh. And then she really impressed us at Clash of the Castle, wrestling Shayna Baszler's game to a degree and overcoming her in a game bout, still defending the title. We've seen these subtle teasers of Ronda and Shayna. Shayna, do you remember what you once were? Don't forget what your killer instinct was. Some things are better than championships, like vengeance. And we have suddenly seen the true Ronda Rousey we've been wanting to see since day damn one. The badass, take no prisoners, don't give a damn if you don't like me. I'm going to do whatever the hell I wish because I'm Ronda effing Rousey. So it comes down to this for me. Does Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler come together to break Liv Morgan and start their first step in taking over the WWE as the ultimate duo? Do you throw a curveball and do you turn Shayna face for the first time ever and build an all-sports-centric program around two of the most baddest martial art fighters ever in Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler? Does Liv Morgan use everything possible, not just to survive, but just to slow down Ronda Rousey long enough to come out of this match on top? Maybe pin her under something heavy or just literally trap her in some weird predicament where she pins her, because there's no way in hell I see Liv Morgan submitting Ronda Rousey. Let's just get that out there right now, all right? We saw what happened the last time Ronda Rousey was pushed, though, to a degree, and she was allowed to use anything possible in her possession. She took Charlotte Flair's arm and forced to say, I quit, bending it inside a steel chair. Who's to say that spot won't be revisited? And right now, as far as Liv Morgan goes, she fights alone. There is nobody in her corner. Point blank simple, period. You look at the banner of this show, Ronda Rousey is on it at the forefront. Liv Morgan is not. It almost feels like with the fact that this match is literally named out of this premium live event, which is how you really sell a premium live event of the name, and why I think this might literally be our main event, if I'm just being honest here, guys. It almost feels like it's too obvious, but it seems like this is set up personally for Ronda Rousey, whether people like it or not, because Ronda could care less. But does Ronda Rousey leave with the championship, or leave with that moment that gets the internet talking, and Liv somehow still leaves the title? With a match where there is no restrictions. She could break anybody. Who's to say she won't assault another referee? Adam Pearce learned that the hard way. I really think that Ronda Rousey is going to regain it here because, again, she is the baddest bitch on the planet. And she's not being restricted anymore. She's being unleashed. Liv Morgan has had a good run. She has been that babyface underdog. We've loved seeing her rise. Now we've seen it rose. We've seen it ride. I feel like Ronda Rousey is going to get it back. So that's my take on that. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, the last person on the last one was it you, Jeff, or was it Chris? I blanked out.
I have no idea. I know I want to go first on the next one. So if you want to have him go
then
first,
you'll go last here. So, Chris.
Yeah.
Does Ronda Rousey once again regain the SmackDown Women's Championship? Does it lead to the first step in Ronda and Shayna taking it over? And is Ronda now the ultimate force to be reckoned with? Or does Liv Morgan once again tell us to watch her and surpasses our expectations and leaves the championship? Who do you got?
Well, you brought up about a point about the poster. Last year, Becky Lynch was on the poster for Extreme Rules. Now, this year is Ronda Rousey, and I think it's fitting. About Becky Lynch here, I got
Josh, the hot take for you, too.
Rousey wins with Shayna's help. Shayna turns. Rousey versus Shayna in a UFC fighter versus UFC fighter title match at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. To give Shayna her first world title. Josh Mansfield, that's not gonna happen. Big Baller G. Just worry about your Pittsburgh Steelers, not Shayna Baszler.
I knew he was gonna go there. Continue. Back to wrestling. If you call this match that.
It is going to be wrestling. It's going to be extreme tomorrow. We're going to see chairs. We're going to see tables. We're going to see ladders. We're going to see candlesticks. We're going to see all of that in this match. I have a gut feeling what I said about Becky. I could see her returning tomorrow and being with the Raw Women's Championship side, and we have our team set for the War Games with Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and then Damage Control. Maybe
still have to find somebody else in that corner.
Maybe
though. And again,
maybe one more member.
She's legitimately out. She ain't
maybe
coming back.
Maybe Candice LeRae. I got a gut feeling maybe Candice can join Damage Control.
Maybe the first time she's gone heel, but right now her and Gargano are both face. So I mean,
but on the SmackDown side, I'm gonna say that tomorrow night, this has been a good 3 months of Liv Morgan as champion. We all enjoyed it. We all were happy for that moment at Money in the Bank when Liv finally won a championship in WWE. It was
no denying that.
It was a feel-good moment. 3 months is going to come to an end. And Liv's going to have many championships in WWE. I have a gut in my mind. But tomorrow night, Ronda Rousey takes back the SmackDown Women's Championship, and she's going to build off of that. She's going to be a heel going forward up until WrestleMania, when we're finally going to get at WrestleMania Saturday, and I'm still going to make that bold prediction, and we're finally going to get that match that we all been robbed of since WrestleMania of 2019.
Yep.
WrestleMania Saturday, in the first main event, we're finally going to get Ronda Rousey defends the SmackDown Women's Championship against Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is going to be a babyface in that match. And I can't wait to see Becky and Ronda for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania.
All right, bold take, bold booking. According to the team, majority do believe in Ronda Rousey. 80%, 20% did pick Liv Morgan to come out with the title. And again, anything goes. The only way you're going to come out of this, pinfall or submission. No other way. By the way, Josh has one thing for you. Make sure you see his comment for Zero News, just trying to help him out. So make sure you go look at that. Okay, Jeff, right now, pretty much everybody is going for Ronda Rousey. So, again, are you going to watch Liv somehow come out with the championship, or are you with the majority?
Well, I think Extreme Rules is going to get a little rowdy. So I agree. She's had a hell of a run as champion, has Liv Morgan. I have highly enjoyed this run, and I agree. It's not the last one she's going to have. I think that this is only the beginning of one hell of a bunch of championships in her possession. So this is her time to pass the torch over. Rousey, I think, is this kind of match favors Rousey. Yes, we saw what Liv can do off the turnbuckle onto the table, which was like, I was like, oh my God. Like I was screaming at the TV because I'm like, she's actually doing this. Like, I mean, you think Liv Morgan, you don't think this at all. No. Like, this is not her style. However, it is Ronda's, but she has to adapt. And I think that what we've seen, she's adapted quite well. We now know what she can do with the table. We know what she can do with the kendo stick. You know, we know she can handle weapons right now. And but I don't think it's going to matter as far as tomorrow goes. I think that Rousey's going to win. I think Baszler is going to get involved. I think that in some way. And I think that down the line, you're going to see the two of them, Baszler and Rousey, going after the women's tag team championships. Finally, if they don't,
I wouldn't mind that.
If they don't, I could see the two of them at some point facing each other. And if it's for the women's title, that will be one match I would not want to miss.
That would be the biggest money-selling match in WWE history because that's legit sports. Damn it. But I digress. Not to start a part-time entertainer. All right. Sorry, I said that out loud. All right. So, yeah. As far as us goes, we're all going to feel rowdy tomorrow, and we're already feeling it now, as SmackDown is literally less than an hour away. So, Liv, good luck. Prove us wrong. We'll be watching.
That's right.
All right. Well, guys, it's been a good talk. And again, folks, let your predictions be known. The link is in the description down below. Your opinions matter too. You got until kickoff tomorrow night to get those predictions in for Extreme Rules. And if you haven't already, get those predictions for Bound for Glory because those close literally in 25 minutes. As, of course, I will be signing off here very soon to support, engage, and enjoy as a fan. Professional wrestling! Damn it! But I digress. With the Bound for Glory pay-per-view tonight and so much more. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what we all feel is going to be the main event, if nothing else because of the special guest referee. But also, this is not going to be a wrestling match. This is legit going to be a fight as my NXT trademark comes back for one night. The first time ever in main roster history. Not since the Lion's Den have we seen something like this on the main roster showcase. As Seth freaking Rollins goes one-on-one with Matt Riddle inside the fight pit. The only way to win, knockout or tap out. All right, I am going to say nothing else because he already told me he wanted to go first. So the floor is yours. Break it down. Pick a winner. What's going to happen?
Okay, first of all, Up, Down, Down had the 2K22 tournament. Who was the winner? It was Seth freaking Rollins. Who did he beat? Matt freaking Riddle.
Exactly.
And I was like, I was loving it. I was watching that this morning before going to work, so I had to. Yeah. Anyway, this is a match that fits Riddle. Obviously, being that he was from MMA and had fought in the cage, this is his kind of match. Same thing as Lee said earlier with the Brawling Brutes in this kind of match. However, you have a deciding factor that is in that cage or in that fight pit, and that would be the special referee, Cormier. Now, I think that first of all, you're going to see one hell of a fight. Bottom line, we've seen the fight pit, the Lion's Den, same thing, and it's a brawl pretty much to end it all. No pun intended with the brawl for all, which absolutely sucked, but we won't go there.
No, let's not.
Yeah, but I think that this is now Cormier. Obviously, him and Riddle. You know, they've been in the MMA world. I don't know if they fought, but I know that they're good friends. You know, as far as and the connection is there. However, Rollins has no connection to Cormier at all.
Exactly.
So here's what I think is going to happen. Cormier is going to cost Riddle the match.
What?
I believe that Cormier will cost Riddle the match. And this is why I'm thinking. Now, Rollins wins due to Cormier. This feud is not over between Rollins and Riddle because now you have Cormier into this whole scheme of things. Give us one match, Survivor Series, Riddle, Cormier. Let's do it.
My
Book it.
gosh. Cormier is like a retired fighter. He hasn't fought since 2020.
He still looks to be in great shape. I mean, obviously, I think that honestly,
according to his UFC record, where most of his wins were literally by submission.
Survivor Series, which is next month, I really would love to see Riddle and Cormier in a match and have it be MMA style. Not have it be a wrestling match, have it be MMA style match. And I think that would be fantastic. I mean, that's something that a lot of people who follow WWE but don't follow MMA, this would be a treat for them. Man. And if you wanted to, why not give Rollins the ref shirt for this one? I mean, I think that honestly, I'm just saying that they could do that. Why not? But if they do want to go that route, I would definitely get a MMA referee, especially for this match. But I think this would be a treat that could happen if you see Cormier turning on Riddle. But bottom line, I have Rollins taking this one.
That is one of the most unique bold takes I've heard all week from nobody else but you. That was definitely worth you going first, too. Chris, majority of everybody, 80%, believe that Matt Riddle is going to get his win here, while Seth freaking Rollins will fall short. As Seth freaking Rollins is a sports entertainer, but also more typically pro wrestler, while Matt Riddle is the hybrid entertainer, wrestler, literal former MMA fighter. As Josh points out the history of my NXT and this gimmick. Of course, Timmy Thatcher and Riddle were in the first one. Timmy Thatcher won, and he lost 2 teeth during that at the knee of Riddle. Kurt Angle was the official. And then the second one was Timothy Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa, where Thatcher nearly broke Ciampa's leg inside the cage. Thatcher won. Riddle now going back to his home turf, his strength, UFC background, which you see more in play in his wrestling matches. He came up short against Seth Rollins at Clash at the Castle. WWE, 50-50 booking. It's typical. This environment, wrestler, MMA fighter. Simple logic? Or does Triple H pull a Hail Mary and pull the wool over our eyes and do maybe something that Jeff Chadwick probably alluded to that nobody else thought about? Chris, where do you stand?
Well, this is the match I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be good. Josh Mansfield, you brought up an interesting point. And I agree on what you said here. With Daniel Cormier in WWE, it's going to be phenomenal. But I did hear this, that Seth Rollins was the one that reached out to Daniel Cormier and asked him about being the referee for the fight pit. I did overhear that from Sportskeeda. So,
Fair.
and that gave me an idea that maybe go in Jeff's perspective, but I'm not going that far yet.
Keyword yet. All right, here we go.
Because I got a bold
This guy's
take.
booking WrestleMania as we speak, so I can't wait to
No,
see what he
I'm
says
not
about
booking
Riddle and
it.
Seth.
I'm not booking WrestleMania here.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm booking next month, Saturday, November 5th at Crown Jewel.
Oh, good Lord. All right.
Here's my theory, and personally, it's not going to be Fury against Daniel Cormier. So get that out of everybody's head. Here's another bold take. My prediction is going to be Matt Riddle's going to definitely defeat Seth Rollins here. And I can see on Monday Bobby Lashley beating Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. But
okay, continue.
But
I'm listening.
My bold take: next month, Saturday, November 5th, is Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
That is where Daniel Cormier is going to have his first WWE match against a superstar that literally put his hands on and almost took Daniel Cormier down in UFC. And he is a current WWE superstar. And this superstar, I don't even have to worry about anymore. I can't wait to predict him in a premium live event. I can't wait to put him down in the forum. That's how excited I am, because it's going to be at Crown Jewel. We're going to see Daniel Cormier going to get, and this guy is going to return probably tomorrow. I have a gut feeling it could be tomorrow or in a couple of weeks. We're going to see 1, 2, 3. We're going to see the return of the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, to take on Daniel Cormier at Crown Jewel.
Oh, hell.
I think Cormier's first match that's going to be in WWE is going to be against Riddle. I don't know why they would have it against Brock, because there's no connection. Well, the only connection is
there's
UFC.
long-term continuity based on what he said, but I also think about the well-being and health right now of Cormier. Again, he has not been in a UFC fight, folks, since 2020.
Well, what did you say the percentage was for who's got Riddle and Rollins?
80% to 20%, Matt Riddle. And Justin says, please no more Lesnar. If that happens, that's a fail.
Just so you know, MWL has 77% Riddle, 18% Rollins, with the other percentage being that they both get knocked out and there is no winner.
Double knocked out.
So I mean, AK referee stoppage, but yeah, I mean, your league and this league here are pretty much the same, dead even on that.
Okay, that's fair. But also, guys, let's keep in mind the fight pit. It has no ropes. It is literally a cage. It is literally just hard wood. There is no escape. There is no soft foundation. There's a higher elevated walkway platform that can be very precarious to walk across and get also slammed on. And you can also fall inside the fight pit as well. Again, the only way this match ends is knockout or tap outs. And you use the cage to your advantage. Again, Fadra almost took Ciampa's leg and literally trapped it inside. You're bold, but the bottom line, I see it's going simply like this. Simply put, hello, Josh. It's 50-50 booking. It's Matt Riddle's domain. Matt Riddle wins here. Seth Rollins has nothing to gain, nothing to lose, considering he's challenging Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship the following night. Hello, on Monday Night Raw. It's almost like why he's even in this. He probably don't give two bleeps about this. And then I see Seth beating Bobby Lashley, and that's how they rebound Seth Rollins, and then eventually Riddle versus Seth for the United States Championship. That sounds more logical to me. I literally see the Daniel Cormier feint, despite how much he loves to showcase and book stars and celebrities. You heard what Triple H said on the post scrum after Clash of the Castle press conference, whatever the hell you want to call it. Right now, it's going to stand around Matt Riddle, and Seth Rollins. Jeez, this is annoying. But they're going to slow it down to a degree after this. Why it's felt absolutely personal in every aspect of the word. Seth has a championship. Riddle, he wins this feud. He moves on to something else. Don't know what, but something. And eventually, if they don't hotshot it, it's going to be Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins for the United States Championship 2. I could literally see him doing that at day one. Because again, what the hell actually matters at Country Predictin? That's actually going to overshadow what should happen at Survivor Series War Games heading into the end of the year for day one that sets up WWE's 2023. But the other thing you got to consider here is, again, is this going to be our main event or is this going to be the opener? I mean, where do you put a fight pin on a card like this, let alone when you set it up in an arena like this? So it's going to be interesting to see how in NXT, it was always the closer. Is this match that big, that worthwhile, that personal, that standout on this premium live event of Extreme Rules to close the show? Or do you close it with the match that literally is named after the damn show? Also, this isn't even involving a championship. When I think of premium live events or pay-per-views, you want to call it that, shouldn't they end with a championship match? This feels weird. And the Daniel Cormier thing just sounds like Seth Rollins is just trying to make it as personal as possible that I'm going to beat you in your own domain through an official that understands this game. I think it's going to be game over Seth Rollins, though. I got Matt Riddle winning, and maybe he'll knock out a couple of Seth's teeth, too. I don't think Seth truly realizes what he's getting himself into. This isn't a wrestling match. This is a fight pit. And while Seth can fight, he has zero MMA experience. Go with the strengths. Go with the typical WWE booking. I got Matt Riddle, bro. Finally overcoming Seth freaking Rollins. The only question I have at this point, what sort of weird, lame-ass drip does Seth Rollins come out as in MMA attire? Because he's not going to come out in prototypical wrestling gear. That's a death wish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Seth Rollins is falling to Matt Riddle. It's 50-50 booking, in my opinion. And that's all I got to say about that. All righty. Well, with that being said.
Noah,
Yes.
before we do our plugs, I have to get this off my chest here.
Go ahead.
Well, we're coming up on the end of the year. We got Survive. We got tomorrow night. We got NXT Halloween Havoc. We got.
Oh crap! I forgot about that.
We got.
Not my NXT.
We got Crown. We got Crown Jewel, and we got Survivor Series for WWE.
Yeah.
And I've been on top in the predictions league.
Yes.
And I'm
Probably
trying to win this year.
Yeah.
So, my idea that I have in mind is
and Michael Wayne will be back next year, so watch out.
that
Two-time winner in a row.
for the rest of the year and maybe beyond. The idea I have in mind is that let's make this for fun for every single year. Whoever wins the predictions league, would you finally, if I win this year, would I finally do the unthinkable and finally get that NoDQ shirt that I've been wanting since,
I knew this was coming.
since day one?
You have my word. If you win the league, that shirt is yours for free.
Oh my God.
It's official. Official pen to paper. I'll make it official. You got it. It's official. I will promise you a NoDQ shirt if you win the NoDQ Predictions League this year. All right? You got it.
How many point lead does he have right now?
He has 74 points overall in the Galaxy, leading the Galaxy in the number one spot. But the entire NoDQ ecosystem is still currently owned by Sean Gosoku.
Right. Who's second place in the one where he's first?
Second place in the one that he's first. Give me a second here, because he got me all frazzled. I was like, I gotta make things official. It's all official. I gotta official.
I know I'm ninth, so I'm out of it. But
well, I mean, I'm middle of the pack, so I'm not gonna hold my daggone breath. But Greg's right behind Chris with 2 points. Again, Chris Morales 73, okay. Greg 71, Richard Morales 69, giggity. Ashley Redo 68, and she just submitted her picks too. Chaz Rod 68, Charlene 68, Adrian Hannigan 65, King Kieta 65, Jeff Chadwick 63, Mark Griffith tied with you at 63, followed by the rest.
Okay,
I
so
thought I
yeah,
had
there's 2 points.
74. Did you boss that?
Nope. Because I double checked that. Because basically what happens is after I finalize y'all's picks and shut down the form, as soon as the show's over, I go back to the actual submitted and make sure that nobody actually surprised me with an update the last minute before, and make sure that the picks are as accurate as possible. But right now, you are in the forefront. Rashawn Gosuku leads the team. He's your mortal enemy.
Yeah, 2 points. Don't screw this up, Rots. The shirt's on the line.
And the entire weight of the galaxy is on your shoulders right now.
I'm rooting for you, buddy. I really am. I would love to see this. I mean, see him win, and then he gets a package in the mail. We come on here for like the Rumble, and he opens up the package, and there's the shirt. That would make my day. Like right there.
I'll have a 10-second countdown with a buzzer waiting to happen, too.
But that's the thing.
Right.
If he wins, he can't open it until Rumble. If he gets the shirt, he can't open it till the Rumble because I want to see this.
Agree.
What about day one? That's going to be our first one of 2023.
Well, I mean, that's fair, to be fair. That is the official start, so maybe that does make more sense.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Or how about this? We'll let everybody vote. That'd be a good idea.
Why not do it in a major pay-per-view? That's what I'm saying. Why not do it in a major pay-per-view?
I mean, yeah, that's one of the big four. So I mean, again, we'll play it all by ear.
But
good job tonight, guys. Again, that being said, Bound for Glory literally starts in less than 8 minutes as this Wednesday night of wrestling delight is ahead for us with Bound for Glory, with SmackDown, with Battle of the Belts, AEW Rampage, and WWE Extreme Rules are winning us this weekend. So good luck to everybody and just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling too. So as we conclude, Chris, again, it's official. Good luck between tonight and tomorrow. Anything you want to plug and promote, and where people find you, and God bless your mother.
Thank you so much, and definitely keep my mom in your prayers. She's gonna have a fight ahead of her. I'm gonna be on her side with this, and I am wearing Team Up to take down cancer shirt.
Nice.
Respect, very noble. Respect.
Where my mom is definitely gonna beat cancer, and I know she's going to do her absolute best. Where everybody can find me at is my Facebook, Christopher Rotz, my Instagram, CMROTZ_6472, my Twitter, 2 uppercase CRs, lowercase OTZ24. My Snapchat is C_Rotz17. That's what I got to promote, and I enjoy doing this tonight with everyone here tonight. The next time we'll be here to doing a predictions video will be NXT TakeOver Halloween Havoc.
Not my NXT!
That's the next time we're going to be doing a predictions video. And then after that, November, we'll have Full Gear and Survivor Series to close out what has been a amazing 2022. So let's all enjoy life, enjoy professional wrestling, and let's just enjoy being with one another, and let's look out for one another and take care of people that we love today. And let's have God in their lives, because without God, there's nothing.
Amen to that.
So let's enjoy life. And let's enjoy Extreme Rules and Bound for Glory, SmackDown, AEW Rampage, and Battle of the Belts tonight with this weekend.
Wrestling!
And let's have fun in the month of October. Many more surprises going to be coming with superstars returning, debuts. We don't know when or where they're going to be returning at, but let's all enjoy it. And let's all be here together witnessing it.
God bless you, my friend. Always a pleasure. Jeff, anything you want to promote, and where can people find you, as this Friday is literally about to begin in 5 minutes on YouTube with Bound for Glory?
Well, you can find me over on Meltdown on Facebook there, Meltdown 316. We also have the MWL League that is started up for season 4. We're always looking for new people to join. Feel free to do so. In fact, those that are watching that have not put in, there's only 2 people. The form closes in less than 4 minutes, so get those picks in. But we've got some really good competitors right now. We jumped up to 80 people, and it's just been absolutely amazing so far. And we're just starting. So this is going to be really, really good. But you can find me there. You can find myself on Facebook, obviously. Meltdown on Twitter. You can find us over there, which is Meltdown 316. Yeah, I think that this is going to be one hell of a season. So join us. I know you want to. As far as Chris, my thoughts are with you and the family. Trust me, I've been there before with my sister 5-6 years ago, who is currently beating it. It's going to be a long road. But you've got friends, you got people you can rely on. So if you need to talk to anybody, obviously Noah's there, I'm there. You can always hit up my sister. She's been there. So I mean, it's like you know the people that you can definitely talk to, and we'll always be there for you. And I
Thank you, buddy.
God bless both of you, gentlemen, as I continue to just enjoy accompanying y'all on this fun journey we all just ride along on as fans of professional wrestling. So thank you to you both. And folks, again, as I said in the beginning, I'll say it here. Join the leagues, have fun, enjoy life, enjoy wrestling, but also treasure your family members and loved ones. Appreciate life. Don't take it for granted. And again, deepest condolences and prayers to the entire family of Sarah Lee. RIP. Such a young age, such a promising athlete. Again, folks, don't take life for granted, as good old JR says, and it is damn true. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. It is a blessing to see. Folks, you want to know more about me, though? Know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire HW family on Twitter, including follow my friend, the lovely Cindy G, now on Twitch at Sienna Chanel. She will be doing a watch-along reaction stream to AEW Rampage and Battle of the Belts. Stay tuned for Castle D 18 Studios for more movie reviews, and of course, Open Mind that will come tomorrow night. Stay tuned for me and my brother from church who just arrived here, Paul Mead, as we will be facing each other one-on-one, round 2, tomorrow on Combat Wrestling Trivia. Paul, why do you put me through this? I know everyone's having a dang on laugh. Also, stay tuned for more All Elite coverage from me right here on Steve Paul's Daily Slam on YouTube for all things All Elite Wrestling, including tonight's AEW Rampage and AEW Battle of the Belts, with, of course, my brother, Anthony. And stay tuned for Datia's complete coverage, recap review of Bound for Glory. And maybe me and Jay, the Pepper Duo, will be back to bring you a simple, in fact, recap of Bound for Glory in our own way and our own opinion, too. And as always, say yes to NoDQ and stay tuned for all updates and all things wrestling across all social media platforms, courtesy of Aaron Britt and NoDQ.com. But as always, I'd like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. There are just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, and God bless your families too. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning into another Simplin Predictin live panel double feature edition. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell so this video goes live or on demand on this channel. And hit the subscribe button to help me keep growing this YouTube wrestling community. Shout out to all 250 of you present with me on this fun YouTuber creators journey. It's not anytime soon, as this month marks my 4-year anniversary being part of this thing known as the YouTube and Internet wrestling community. It's been a blast, and I thank all of you. For Jerry of 1,000 Names, Bound for Glory, Jerry Slaughter. For Christopher Ross and his entire family. For Jeff Chadwick and the entire Meltdown community. I am the simple man Noah Foster, representing the NoDQ Galaxy and Team NoDQ, and just a simple man trying to always encourage you to enjoy life and wrestling in a positive way too. So until next time, as I now leave you on, bid you find that do to enjoy Bound for Glory 2 as my Friday night begins. Make a positive impact in life And as always, have a good night. And Chris, you're crazy with your predictions.